Woodward Sports Network presents a sports show that's more than just sports. Welcome to The Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermani. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
Oh, so close. So close. And that was just about 15, 20 minutes ago. Miguel Cabrera with his first at-bat today as the Tigers take on the Yankees. And he got a hold of one. It looked good off the bat, but it was about 30 feet short of that home run wall. Welcome to The Bottom Line. Miguel Cabrera chasing history. We're going to be here all day watching those at-bats live with you. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani the rest of the week. Braylon Edwards, the champ, is here. And that belt symbolizes what, Braylon?
To beat a man, you gotta beat the man. I've been hearing all this stuff about Scotty G all year. How good of a bowler Scotty G was. Said he was number 10 in the state.
Ooh.
Said that he competed so far. He has 18, 300 games and all this. And Maz wasn't there and I had to represent. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't care what you do when I'm not in the room. You got to beat me when I'm in the room. And yesterday, 244 is what it took to get it done. I bowled 244. Scotty G, if you want the belt, I'm taking all open bets, baby. That's no pun intended.
So yesterday we had a little bowling outing with everybody here at Woodward Sports, and Maz is referring to Scotty G from Woodward Bets. Make sure you go subscribe to those guys on YouTube. But they walk around here with their big bowling balls talking all that trash.
I'm just saying.
Braylon rolls up in tennis shoes, grabs this dude's ball,
took his own ball,
and beat him with it at the bowling alley yesterday.
Shot. I took one practice shot, bowled 244, then bowled 4 straight the next game, and then I got a call, had to slide on out. But hey, man, great outing though. It was a lot of fun.
I was happy with my 125. I represented.
You look good,
I had a couple strikes.
It looked good though. They were very powerful.
I feel like the more I drink, the better I bowl, and I just didn't have enough liquor in me last night.
That's typically what happens in bowling, pool, because you stop thinking as much. You become more fluid, more relaxed.
Did you see they had Gypsy vodka there too at the bar?
I did.
Bolero. How did we ever figure out how to say that? Bolero. Is that what it is in Royal Oak? So really cool.
It's like being stuck in the 60s and like the late 60s, the early 70s, Jimi Hendrix, like that swag. Definitely the UK invasion was on prime display last night.
Yeah, it was an awesome time with the entire family. Make sure you check out social media. We got some funny stuff up from that last night. And speaking of social media, Braylon, I thought we've been boys for like at least a year, right? That's when we started talking to you.
What happened, man?
Yesterday.
I did something?
Yeah, you did something, and it solidified like our friendship.
Okay, talk to me. What did I do to solidify our friendship? I thought we were already there, but I'm glad.
I thought we were till yesterday, till I look at who followed me on Twitter at Stick Radio. And one of my new followers happens to be Braylon Edwards.
I was trying to sneak that under the radar.
I was like, wait a minute, this dude hasn't been following me this whole time.
Oh my God! See, this is what happened with. Listen, dear Twitter and social media, stop snitching. Stop snitching on people. I try to follow my boy. I know I should have been following.
The sneak follow.
I should have been following everybody here, man. But it's a lot of moving parts. Social media was always for me just post and leave. Now I'm posting and engaging.
Right.
As taught to me by you guys and Chad, who's on it. Chad's in the building. What up, Chad? So I'm getting better. So everybody that I followed Corey yesterday.
All right.
I followed Corey yesterday as well. I follow Al May. Sam, I gotta follow you. I suck with social media as it relates to follows, but I'm getting better. I
sent the screenshot to Alex. I was like, look at this.
You guys are dicks.
Look at this.
You guys are a-holes for that one. That's what you call a total blindside.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Well, it's a good blindside because it's like, yeah, we've been boys, but finally it's official on social media. Make sure you follow all of us on our individual social pages as well as at Woodward Sports. You can see mine right there on my name tag.
Speaking of being blindsided, I didn't think that I was going to wake up today and see Mike Tyson back in the ring. I did not expect that was going to be my morning today, seeing Mike Tyson on a JetBlue flight throwing some hands.
When you sent that video, When you sent that video, I had to wonder, who the hell is talking trash to Mike Tyson on the plane?
Who pissed Mike off?
And then I'm reading the article, and it was two dudes sitting behind him on the plane. One dude was cool, was able to get a picture with Mike Tyson. And then I guess the other guy sitting behind him just wouldn't stop chirping Mike. Just wouldn't stop chirping Mike. And finally, Mike just turned around and pop, 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 dotted up this dude's head.
So 2 things about this situation. Here it is right here. You see, look at this.
Thank you to TMZ Sports.
This is annoying. Like, guys just hitting the seat and talking. Lord knows what this guy said to Mike Tyson. He had to say or do something that was messed up. And the reason why I say that, you don't see Mike get into it with fans. Mike does not get into it with fans. The only fan I've ever seen or heard him get into it with is 1987. He got into it with Mitch Green. Mitch Green was a boxer. It was a guy that he fought in and out the ring. Look at this.
And, you know, Mike's throwing those short little hooks.
Those hurt.
But, it's a Mike Tyson punch. Of course it hurts.
What would make you want to piss off Iron Mike Tyson? See, that's my thing. Like, we know Mike now. Mike is this chill smoker. He's
Mike on the Zen stuff now, right?
He's Zen. Like, Mike doesn't want any smoke. Mike doesn't want any problems. So for Mike to throw a couple punches.
We got to stop the show right now. And this is going to happen all throughout today unless Miguel Cabrera.
Up.
Let's go. Let's get the crew in here. Miguel Cabrera at bat right now at Comerica Park.
We're watching it. Where's the other volume?
I got it right here. I'm going to turn this up just a little bit so we can all hear it. Yep. We are witnessing history right now. Everybody in here. Look at Comerica Park standing. Everybody behind him. Rogelio, our Tigers beat reporter, is there. We're going to check in with him live. Here's the pitch.
That was
strike. That was inside part of the plate.
I can't say nothing. He has 2,999 hits. So
it's funny because Rogelio just tweeted out that Miguel Cabrera, when he was hitting his 500th home run, didn't like when the crowd got silent. Like, he wants it to be energetic.
Well, guess what?
The 0-1 outside.
That's some energy for you.
1-1 is the count right now on Miguel Cabrera.
What does Comerica seat? 37,000?
42, I believe.
I thought it was 42.
Yep, 42,
42 people on their seats, including these guys.
All right. Ooh. That's a low strike call. Boom.
Come on. Hey, come on, guy.
Miggy down 1-2 in the count.
That was one of those Buster Posey catches, trying to bring it up real quick.
He framed it.
Yeah,
he framed it. You see?
He's slow as hell.
Come on, Miggy. Strikeout for Miguel Cabrera.
See, but you see what happens is
I just love how everybody just puts their head down and leaves.
Alex put that hate in the air, and that was happening. Alex put that hate in the air, that energy. It somehow got down to Woodward, and it got all the way to Comerica Park. Now he's going 0 for 4 because of Al May.
We will see you guys next at bat.
We will see you guys.
And I got to mute this TV, but yeah, we're going to be doing that all show long. I know it's going to be kind of disjointed, but hey, you know what?
Fun.
Whenever you get a chance to witness history and be a part of greatness.
Which is never.
It really isn't. I mean, we've been lucky in Detroit to experience.
Miggy last year, 500.
Miggy doing the Triple Crown.
Right.
You know, Cy Young Award winner with Justin Verlander. Cy Young Award winner with Max Scherzer. You know, we've seen Barry go over the 2,000 yards rushing. So, like, we've seen monuments, but anytime you
Pistons
can just stop down.
And
I love this because, you know, like, I'm a sentimental kind of guy.
Yeah.
So we're going to have the memory of us watching this, too, if it happens, and that excites me. And shout out to everybody in the chat watching along with us. Thank you guys so much.
The good thing about it being at home, you know, you literally have a game today, you have a game Friday, then you have a game Saturday and Sunday. The thing that's good about that is there's a lot of people, and I was talking to my boy DJ Tom T. Shout out to Tom.
What up, Tom T?
And Tom was talking about he's a season ticket holder for the last 10 years with the Detroit Tigers. Think of how many people have spent money, invested time, invested energy into Miggy, into the Tigers. So it's just as much their 3,000 hits as theirs, man. And these Detroit Tigers fans are ecstatic. They're over the moon. They should be because they've been there since he's come up from the Marlins, since he's been on this journey. They want to see him hit 3,000 bad.
Yeah, and our social team found a great picture of Miguel Cabrera and Al Kaline. And Miguel Cabrera, Johnny Kane tweeted out that Miguel Cabrera just had a special relationship with Al Kaline. He says he misses him and wished he was there. And that just shows like the type of culture and the type of guy that Miggy's meant to this entire franchise.
Agree, man. Miggy's a guy that, you know, maybe you don't look at him or look to him as a leader. You don't look to him as a guy in the clubhouse, excuse me. But that's who he's been. He's been a guy that people have looked up to, not only because of his greatness. He spends the time with individuals. He takes time and talks to up-and-coming young players. He takes time and talks to the past players that are in the press box, that are in the sidelines, that are become coaches. He takes that time, and he's a great guy. He deserves everything that he's getting.
And that's the one cool thing about baseball. Like, I know baseball is kind of on its way out with young people, but the one thing it always has is that lineage. You know, like when you think about Old Tiger Stadium, and when I used to go to games there with my dad and my family.
Michigan and Trumbull.
Yeah, Michigan and Trumbull, the hot corner, and you go there and you're looking at a batting box that Ty Cobb stood in, Mickey Mantle stood in, Babe Ruth stood in, and they still kept those batter's boxes for the Detroit Pal League, and they still kept the foul pole in the outfield. So there's little bits of nostalgia all the way around Detroit with this team, and this would just be another monumental moment for the Tigers.
A friend of mine was working for Pal. She was working in the HR department a couple years ago, and I actually went down there. They had an event there. I can't remember what the event was. Oh, it was a wedding. It was a wedding of one of the individuals for Pal, so they got a chance to use that building. And if you've been out there at night, Stick, man, being on that balcony with the lights, and they have the lights on for Pal Field, which is obviously Trumbull, Michigan and Trumbull, man, it's still nostalgic. You still get that feel. And I'm glad they kept that a baseball field, because you still feel the ghost of the past. It's a great place to be, great area.
Yeah, it's magical down there in Corktown. Speaking of magical, Jeff Iafrate and his beautiful hair is in the building. And
Jeff.
We are pretty much knee-deep right now in the first round of the NBA playoffs, so we're going to talk to Jeff.
Get him on here and talk about it, man. I've been wanting to talk to him for a couple weeks now, man. He knows his stuff.
Dude, Jeff is a savant when it comes to basketball.
We're going to put it to the test.
I like basketball. Jeff is basketball. That's a little bit different. We'll be right back. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. Maz is out, but we got Flannel Sam, Alex here. That is Braylon Edwards.
What you do when no one's looking doesn't matter. It's what you do when people are watching. This is the Bottom Line on Woodward Sports Network. Shout out to my boy Scotty G.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward Sports is here.
Hey, speaking of summer, you're going to want to have that beautiful tan as you go out to Metro Beach, or you hit any lake around the area, or you're just in the backyard because, you know, you got that little kiddie pool and you're feeding it because, you know, that's what us broke people do too. Man. But you got to look good. You got to be tan, and you got to get that base. And the best place to do it, Chili Peppers Tanning. And while you're there, join the Pepper Club. They will beat any deal by $5, and it's just easy when you're a part of the Pepper Club. You walk right in, get your tan, look beautiful, and then get out of Chili Peppers Tanning so you can enjoy the rest of this beautiful sunshiny day. But make sure you get that tan first at Chili Peppers.
Coming back to talk about the NBA today, been wanting to talk about the playoffs have heated up. I don't know when's the last time we've seen an NBA playoffs that were this good, game to game, down to the wire. Coaching is what you need. Superstars is what you have. How you make it work. Bringing in my boy Jeff Iafrate right now. Jeff, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I'm in the presence of a champ, the bowling champ, one and only. And my boy Stick, that isn't the bowling champ. Actually, hold on.
President of a champ and
Stick. And let me just say this too. You mentioned you put, what'd you score? 125.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm getting. So
man, that's good. 125.
That's all right.
125.
All right.
You don't have your own ball. You're not at your own house lane. Hey, man, 125 is good.
I was celebrating the holiday. Like
exactly.
I was out of sorts.
It was the day before 421. So hey, man.
Yeah, you just need more alcohol. That's all it is.
Exactly. Let's dive into this NBA. Obviously, everybody wants to talk about the Celtics and the Nets. What have you seen so far in the series? The Nets give up a 17-point lead last night. KD didn't shoot too well. 2 games in a row. Now they're down 0-2. Where do they go from here, and what do you see out of the Celtics that you like?
One thing I can say about the Brooklyn Nets as of right now, this is probably the most physical I've seen Kevin Durant being guarded. I mean, they are getting, in terms of matchups, the Brooklyn Nets messed up, and by Brooklyn Nets I mean Kyrie Irving, because he wasn't available for majority of this season. That's kind of what led to them being a 7th seed, which gets you a matchup with the the Boston Celtics, and that's a tough matchup for them. They can guard them. They got Jason Tatum. They got guys on the perimeter. They have Defensive Player of the Year now, Marcus Smart. So they're giving them issues, and you saw it the first 2 games. I don't mean to do this, but if it was LeBron, they'd be talking about him. And it's Kevin Durant, who a lot of people say is the best player in the world. He hasn't shown up, and that's the reality of it. Now, they have been playing him well, and I want to give credit to Udoka, the head coach of the Celtics. Man, he's defensive-minded, and the Celtics look scary. They do.
Let me bring up something. Obviously, you talk about that, and I agree with you 100%. They're throwing bodies at KD. You know what? It reminds me of 2013. Reminds me of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yep.
He struggled in that series. They had big bodies in Zach Randolph, and once again, they had a guard that was Defensive Player of the Year, and that was Tony Allen. Very similar to what you're saying with the Celtics. But you brought up Udoka, and you brought up the coaching. How much of that is playing, in fact, into what the Nets are doing? Because they're one-on-one players. I mean, their one-on-one game is what they're doing. Kyrie, you got KD. That's what they're doing the majority of the game, and yes, they are scoring points. But you see 2 games in a row. In that last 3 minutes, I think Steve Nash is the problem. They don't have half-court sets to set up an offense. Look at what the 76ers did for that final play of the game yesterday for Embiid. Doc Rivers set that play up. Now, granted, Embiid made a hell of a shot.
Right.
But Doc Rivers set that play up. Talk about Nash being a guy that doesn't have this type of experience, Jeff.
But before you get to that, let's talk about Nash and where he comes from. I mean, he never came from a coaching
nice
staff.
shot, Alex. Look at that.
There's Embiid with that
That's
turnaround.
payback for Kyrie Irving. I mean, for Kawhi Leonard. That's payback for Kawhi Leonard a couple years ago with a shot in the corner to take the Raptors over Philly in Game 7. But go ahead.
All those bounces. No, but I was just talking about Steve Nash, like where he comes from with D'Antoni's system, or D'Antoni's system. So I always get those two mixed up. But his system, they never ran really a set offense, and that was always the problem with them once they got in the playoffs. During regular season, they'd run through people, but once you're facing up with somebody 2-3 games in a row, they're going to figure out that offense. And is that what's happening?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, Steve Nash, let's be honest, he's gotten flack a lot this season. And for adjustments, and you saw it in the fourth quarter. Rightfully so. And in the fourth quarter of that game, that's what separates these teams is coaching. I mean, who's going to be – you can have the best players, but who puts you in the best position? And Steve Nash hasn't done that so far. So if you look at Steve Nash, you like his – if you look at a coach and say, what's your strength? It should be offense for Steve Nash. But late in both games – they were nowhere to be found. It was a lot of isolation basketball, and you can't beat the Celtics. And Katie even talked about it after the game. They asked him, what is the Celtics doing different than other teams? He says it's not really defensively. It's just the personnel they have. It's causing bad matchups for, and I think Steve Nash deserves some blame. No doubt about it.
They're going to have to figure something out because the one thing that the Nets, they wanted to do, they wanted to get out of this series easy. They wanted to get out in 5 games, 6 at the most. Now it's going to take them 7 games because they're not going to win 4 in a row. We know that it's going to take them 7, which is going to tire them. And you know what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. Check this out. The 76ers, are they for real?
I never bought stock in them, and I'll tell you why.
Are they for real?
No, I don't think they're for real. I think they can make it deep in the playoffs. I don't see them as a finals contender, and I'll tell you this.
Even with the MVP. Scoring leader. Champion. Unguardable.
He'll be runner-up, too.
They traded for James Harden for a specific reason. James Harden hasn't been the James Harden I expected James Harden to be.
He's fat James Harden.
He is. I mean, talk about basketball shape. He is a basketball shape, James Harden. Yes. And he's coming into this series.
Nice to see what you did
He's
there.
going into this series.
Shaped like
I mean, you can't take 13 shot attempts. They need more out of James Harden, but of course, they're going to take care of this first round series. It's not about that. It's deeper in the playoffs. What happens when you face a Milwaukee? What happens when you face a Boston? I think that's when you're going to start, listen, we need more out of James. Will he step up? I think that's a question that's
the matchup I want to see, though. Milwaukee in the 70s. Like, I want to see 2 big men because, let's face it, we're in the era where big men aren't sexy, right? But you have Giannis and you have an Embiid, which are freaks of nature. Watching those 2 one out, and they're really the only 2 guys that can guard each other in the league square up, right?
What you also have is an injured Chris Middleton. The reason why the Bucks have been so successful for the past 3 years is their core 2 originally, and then Drew Holiday last year. Their core 3 has been healthy. They played all year with Giannis. They played all year with Chris Middleton. They played all year with Drew Holiday. And then they got Brook Lopez back towards the end of that season. What can they be without Chris Middleton, Jeff? Because I'm kind of nervous them playing. You see what happens with the Bulls yesterday. DeMar DeRozan, another guy that should have been up for MVP, wasn't a finalist. What are they going to do in the finals of this without Chris Middleton?
And it's tough. I could say the same for Phoenix as well. I mean, both these teams were in the finals last year, and that's kind of where that longevity comes into play. Guys start getting injured. Chris Middleton being one of them, Devin Booker the other. It's tough. I mean, Boston right now, it's thin. You talked about the playoffs. This is the most exciting because there's so many contenders. Right. And it's that close. If you lose a guy, I mean, look at out west in Phoenix. If you lose Devin Booker, I might be looking at Golden State more so just because they're more healthy. They have the guys available. So if they can get Devin Booker back, it's different. But with Chris Middleton, they need him back. I mean, they need him. Definitely.
Jeff brings up Golden State. Golden State has turned it to a new level, and it's all because of one player. University of Michigan's own Jordan Poole. Stick, what have you seen out of Jordan Poole? Because he is balling out of control.
I mean, first of all, I love that Steph's coming off the bench right now, right? Just to get acclimated and stuff. And what that's done is it's given a guy like Jordan Poole the reins to the team, and he's taken that ball and he's literally run with it. I mean, you look at that five, when that five was on the floor, and I'm talking Poole, I'm talking Wiggins, you're talking Clay, you're talking Draymond, and of course you're talking Steph. Like the first time, they've only played like 5 minutes together all season, but the first time they're together in the playoffs, they're like plus 27 on the floor.
And they got
together.
their own nickname now. They're called PTSD. That's their nickname.
I love that, but I think Jordan Poole is that Iguodala type player that rounded out their top 5 before, except he's got, I think, a much sweeter shot than Iguodala.
Yeah. And I think the Golden State Warriors are the only team in the NBA that can miss players or players miss time. They can come right back and gel together. They have that camaraderie. They have deep playoff run experience. And in a fact that I thought was interesting is Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. When those guys are healthy, they haven't lost a playoff series. When those guys are healthy, mind you, there's been times where Klay or Draymond or whoever's been hurt, but when those guys are together, you add Jordan Poole, the baby splash brother. I mean, it's
how much do you attribute that to
team?
Steve Kerr though in his system? Because like when I'm watching the Golden State Warriors play compared to when I'm watching other teams play, there's so much cutting, there's so much action.
Absolutely.
They give up the ball, they cut, then they get it back. Like you don't see that. You see a lot of standing around. You see a lot of one-on-one ISO offense. Like how much is this accredited to Steve Kerr that he can just keep plugging and playing guys?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it's a lot of it is because of Steve Kerr. And listen, I love Mark Jackson, but when they let go of Mark Jackson, they brought in Steve Kerr. That offense, you saw the tides turn, especially with the personnel they have. They have the shooting. They have the connector in Draymond Green, who can be your best defensive player, but can also be your facilitator. So they have the right pieces. What separates them is the shooting ability. Like you don't have what other team in the NBA has 3 guys that can hit from anywhere and are just as deadly? Like Jordan Poole hit some shots. Yeah. I'm like, are you in the gym with Steph Curry? Like, who is teaching you these things, man? He's got a clip, and it's hard to guard him. If they come out with that death lineup and they got Draymond at the center, and you're out there with a 7-footer, they're going to cause you problems. I mean, they can go small on you, and not a lot of teams can do that.
Yeah, Sean Murphy saying that death lineup for Golden State is deadly. That's how they got the name. And Chef Chris Smith, Jordan Poole will be the Finals MVP. Book it.
You also have to attribute that to Jason Collins in that scouting department. I mean, if you look at what Golden State has done over this past 10 years, it's been drafting. Whether it's been Steph, whether it's been Draymond, whether it's been Clay, whether it's been Harrison Barnes, whether it's been Jordan Poole, they've been drafting these players. So you got to give them some shout-out, some love to that scouting department. I want to talk about another series that is heating up. And I want to ask you, is it hype or is it the real deal? You watch Minnesota destroy Memphis in the first game. Everybody was making so much about Memphis. They had Desmond Bain. They had Joshua Jackson Jr. They got John Morant back. He's the guy. He's the new guy. Should have been drafted over Zion. They blow them out. And then they come back and they blow out Memphis. I mean, Memphis now blows out Minnesota. You got Karl Anthony Towns' father is going at it with John Morant's dad.
I love that.
Gotta love this series. Is Memphis for real or is Minnesota for real?
I think that's the hardest playoff series to judge because 2 things. One, the lack of experience. And that's why the blowout and then a blowout because you have 2 teams that don't have playoff experience. I mean, Minnesota, coming into the series, I would look at Memphis. Listen, I love Memphis, but they have just as much playoff experience as Minnesota. But I think what separates Minnesota is they have Patrick Beverley. They have a veteran who's in there telling them how to go about their business. I mean, he was a part of the LA Clippers with some deep playoff runs even before then with other teams. So
Houston, a
bunch of teams. So with that, I think what separates them, I still have Memphis winning, but my God, Anthony Edwards, he's coming into his own. I think that's a guy that the next couple of years can be one of the leading scorers in the league. So they're scary. I think that's probably the hardest series to call because of the youth. But I'm going to go with the best player in the series. I think it's John Morant.
Morant's
I'm sticking with Memphis.
Nature.
He is.
Remember during Stuff Studio, we were playing NBA in there, and John Morant I was just going nuts with.
He's
like,
a cheat code.
He literally is a video game. Like the way that guy elevates is just like it's poetic almost and magical. How he just flies through the air like it's like Maz with the flying lion.
Yeah. one thing with John Morant I worry about is for longevity purposes. He's so explosive, man. He's so explosive. And he takes a lot of hard falls at such a young age. You hopefully as he gets older, you don't have that same Russell Westbrook effect where you kind of start declining. But John Morant's electric, man. He's one of the best exciting players in the league right now.
I agree with you. Also, I was looking at him, and you just see so many resemblance between him and Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is the same type of player, getting to the paint. Led the league, I think, one year with endpoints in the paint, much like John Morant did. We got you for another segment. I want to finish off talking about these playoffs because it's really interesting. And we still got to talk about Luka Doncic not playing, but yet Jalen Brunson carrying the load for Dallas against who are they playing against? Now I got to think about it. Now I got to remember.
Utah.
There we go.
Tonight at 9 p.m.
We know what they do.
Yeah.
We know they choke in the playoffs, but
So we'll talk about those other games, plus get Jeff's predictions for tonight's game coming up next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for the lovely Ryan Ermani. Jeff is sitting in Maz's chair. We have Flannel Sam here, Alex, and of course, that is Braylon Edwards, and this is
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Citron World is aspirational lifestyle beverage brands. Guess what? Premium bottled water and revitalizer shots. That pineapple and turmeric in the morning. It is how I wake up and get my day started. Check this out. Don't believe me? Also talk to the Pistons and Red Wings because they are also partners with Citron. They want to be here for the moments, whether it's a bar mitzvah, whether it's a birthday, whether it's a marriage engagement, whether it is a baby shower, whether it is just the Super Bowl, or whether it's just a day in which you want to have some fun. Citron would like to be there for us. Fashionable, fun, and functional. Gotta love those. Drink it, live it with Citron.
Welcome back to the bottom line right here on the Woodward Sports Network, and thank you to everybody that's listening on the Roar right now and everybody that has downloaded our app, which is free and in the Google Play or Apple Store. Just search Woodward Sports and you can take us with you anywhere that you go. Tigers are playing right now. They're at commercial. I believe we're going to the bottom of the fifth. Torkelson, I believe, is up next, so that puts us about 5-6 batters away from Miggy. Torkelson bats 7, Miggy bats 4, so we're almost there for another at-bat. This game's flying by. I can't believe it's already the bottom of the fifth inning.
I know.
It's a nice day, too, man.
An hour and a
Beautiful
half to get there, too. So
I felt bad for people from New York, man. We got that BS weather the first 2 games.
Oh, man, my buddy yesterday was at the game and left after Miggy had 2 hits because he was like, it was raining, it was cold. Now he's got this 3rd hit, and he was like, and he's going to get another at-bat. He's texted me, but he's actually at the game again today. He took his boys down there, so like his sons, not his boys.
And I saw people going up to the game just to see the hit. Like, I know when he was at 299, they were already driving up there just to see if he'd get it.
I'm telling you, if he doesn't have the hit today, we need to go down there as an outing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like all of us,
Tomorrow
like family outing, Woodward Sports, we all have to be down at Comerica Park.
I'm there. Family outings typically at Woodward Sports have been good, whether it was bowling championship, bowling championship. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
And we're going to have the family outing for the draft day party a week from today, too. So everybody, the whole family's going to be down there. We got other people from Detroit Sports Media wanting to come party with us. And I was telling Nick Leach, like, I'm glad we're looked at as the cool kids on the block that everybody wants. Because if you experience opening day with us, you know what the hell we're about to do for this draft party, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Castro is up now, our number 8th hitter. So Miggy, we're 5 batters away from Miggy. Tigers are up 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Well, let's get back into some NBA playoffs. Some good games happening tonight. Braylon, what do you want to discuss?
I want to talk about Utah and Dallas. I want to talk to them about Jeff. Like, you expect Luka Doncic not to be playing. No Tim Hardaway Jr. playing. You expect that this would be the Jazz time to step up. Every year, whether it was Karl Malone and John Stockton, has moved on till now, whether it was Darren Williams out of Illinois, point guard, tremendous point guard, one of the most underrated point guards, I think, in the past 30 years. Whether it was his team with him and Millsap and Carlos Boozer, and now you have Spider Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, you have Jordan Clarkson, you have Michael Conley Jr. You got a ton of players. Ingles, and the list goes on. But guess what you also have? Choke.
Yeah.
They still choke. Jeff, talk to me about this series. Why aren't they winning? Why aren't they winning 2-0 right now?
And that's always been a question. Obviously, I always say this. I think Quinn Snyder is one of the best coaches in the NBA, but one thing that separates teams is not just coaching, it's also personnel, and a lot of that has to do with, man, it sucks. Utah's been through all that. It really is. It's funny to look at it. But for Utah, I picked them to win this series before. I knew Luka would be out, and the thing about this injury is it's that calf injury. And you saw Kevin Durant had a calf injury, came back towards Achilles. So
100%.
These things, I mean, it's your franchise. This is why you don't play players on the last game of the regular season. That made no sense to me why in the hell he would do that, considering they already locked up their seed. But That's another conversation. I think Utah comes out, they win it. They'll win it in Utah fashion. It might go deeper than it has to be. But again, and also credit to Jason Kidd, one hell of a head coach, man. He's doing a lot out there with Jalen Brunson and everything. They're all hooping. But I think Utah will still ultimately win. I think they have the better players. They have the better player on the floor right now in Donovan Mitchell. But once we start talking about that second round, then we start different conversation. But no doubt about it, they should get out of this first round.
One of the biggest things I want to get to you and think in terms of who you believe are going to be in the finals at the end, who's going to be sitting there playing against each other, representing the East and the West. But one thing about Utah before we go, what is it about Rudy Gobert? Like, it's something about his prowess on the offensive end of the glass. He can't score. And I think a lot of times, everybody in the NBA is moving towards that Ja Morant speed, that Ja Morant clip. Rudy Gobert is one of these traditional big men. I don't think he can keep up, and I think that's one of the biggest problems for Utah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's tough. You have Rudy Gobert out there, a former Defensive Player of the Year winner, and I think the problem is with Rudy they're telling him, listen, you're the best defensive player in the league. You're the best defensive player in the league. And over time, he's like, well, I got the defense already. He hasn't been working on at least on his offense, and that's a problem. I mean, teams come out. What happens if you face, eventually you face, let's just say hypothetically, you face a Golden State and they're going small ball on you? You're cooked. Yeah. And Rudy Gobert can't be out there guarding in multiple positions. So
yeah, he's JaVale McGee essentially.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Exactly.
So that's the problem with Utah, man. Like, they don't have it, and Rudy Gobert is a hell of a player, but for what he's making, I mean, you're paying him to be just on the defensive side of the ball. You're in some trouble. He's got to bring something on offense. You can't take 5 free throws and that be his points. You got to do something more than that.
Let's talk about the champs for a bit, because they lost.
They did.
They should not be tied with the Bulls right now. I mean, DeRozan has been playing out of his damn mind. Like, that guy could not miss a shot last night. But do you see the Bulls being able to pull the upset over the champs?
This is my thing on the Bulls. I like the Bulls when they first kind of assembled the whole crew together. I was very excited. Another team in the East that can contend, Chicago Bulls. But here's the take on it. Chicago hasn't beaten any good teams throughout the regular season. They have not done it. So to get in the postseason, you're facing good teams. So listen, DeMar DeRozan, hooper, a guy that is dangerous from any point of the game, even in the fourth quarter. So I'm not surprised. He had some big shots to win that game for the Chicago. My question is, I just think Milwaukee's more of a complete team. They have the chemistry. They've been playing together. They have a coach who's battle-tested, a guy who's obviously won a championship recently. So I would still take...
No Middleton, though. Remember, no Middleton.
That's the trade-off with me. I would pick Milwaukee, but no Middleton makes things complicated. It really does. And I think if you're going talent for talent, Chicago's got more talent, but the chemistry goes in favor of Milwaukee. That's a tough series to call, but ultimately I'm going to go with the champs.
It just shows how tough it is to repeat as champions.
Oh, absolutely.
On paper, Milwaukee should be running through the East again, but no, like, not every year's the same, and then poor Chris Paul, the guy, Chris Paul's cursed. Can we all agree on that?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, something happens in the playoffs to screw Chris Paul every single year.
You just can't have Scott Foster refereeing. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And with Milwaukee, they've had their own struggles. I mean, they should have been
hurt.
I feel like it's partially that hangover from a championship, but another part of it is now you lose Chris Middleton. It's tough out there, man. So Milwaukee was my favorite to come out, but I'm starting to look at Boston, and I think that as a complete team, they're healthy. They're playing hella basketball. The second half of the basketball season, they're one of the best teams record-wise. So give me Boston.
So what you're saying is the Suns are in trouble.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Suns are in trouble. They depend on Devin Booker for the scoring. They depend on him for the 40-point games. They depend on him for the three-pointers in the clutch. They depend on him as a guy that can get to that basket and make it happen. With him being injured, I can't see Mikal Bridges taking over. DeAndre Ayton still hasn't proven to me that he's a big man that can give me 20 and 20. He's a big man that proven he can give me 11 and 20. But he hasn't proven he can give me a 20-20. And then with Chris Paul, that's a lot of pressure on the guy that's 38 years old. A lot of pressure on those knees. A lot of pressure on that back. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure to get him to get 30 as well as get everybody involved with the lack of Devin Booker. Not to mention, who's this C.J. McCollum guy?
He's pretty damn good.
Who's C.J. McCollum?
And Brandon Ingram, man. They got some dogs out there.
Ingram, my God, on that sprained ankle, too, doing what he did.
C.J. has come in and been a guard that can take the load off of Brandon Ingram and allow just him to play basketball. Yeah. He's not thinking about anything. He's not worried about Zion Williams. He's not worried about what they're thinking about him. He's just scoring buckets to C.J. McCollum. That's just my take.
And can we give it up to Willie Green?
Willie Green,
Detroit's own, UND's own.
Hell of a coach, by the way. And another thing,
I went to college with him. When I was at UND, we used to sit in the same classroom together. And, like,
that's
for
crazy.
real, yeah. Like, I literally sat next to Willie Green, and now he's who Willie
He's in the
Green
playoffs.
is. Like, I used to root for him when he was with the 76ers, and to watch him just kind of grow through this. He was always a smart kid.
Yeah.
Always at class. I was not. That's probably why Willie Green's very successful.
No, one thing that I think C.J. McCollum brings for this team is veteran leadership. They didn't have that. Obviously, they had the Zion situation going on. They had Ingram, who was their best player. But now you're bringing a veteran. You're bringing a guard, like you said, to kind of take the pressure off everybody. And another thing, C.J. now gets his own team, so it's nice to see that as well. So New Orleans is kind of like Chicago, in my opinion. They're a team that didn't win, the most games, but they got stars. They're star-studded. So if you lose a guy like Devin Booker in a series where you got killers on the other team in playoff basketball, sometimes it does come down to isolation basketball. Go get a bucket, and they got guys who can do just that. So without Devin, I think it's reported 2 to 3 weeks he's out. It's going to be tough for him. I think they still get it done, but I wouldn't bet straight money on it getting to the finals.
Before we get you out of here, Jeff, I don't want to go back too far in the conversation. We were just talking about DeAndre Ayton a little bit, and that's been kind of a rumor to come to Detroit this summer.
Yeah.
Like, that's a guy that people want Detroit to go after. What do you feel about that? Are you in that camp? Because I'm on the fence really about it. We do need a big man, but to me, he's not the transcendent guy that I think is going to push us over the top.
And I think what people have to understand is that it's not up to us. It's up to, number one, it's up to the Suns. They're able to match his contract offer. He's a restricted free agent. So it comes down to a couple things. You need a lot of things to go your way. You need him to sign the contract. You need the Suns to say, go, screw off, go do whatever. I don't think he's leaving. I think he goes back to Phoenix. They need him. He's a big part of what they're able to do. I would love him in Detroit. I think you need that center position. You need length. He brings a lot of things we lack, but the reality is, he's not unrestricted at this time of his career. He can sign a deal, but I'm sure Phoenix is going to be able to match it. They need him.
I agree with you on that. I think football is a little bit different than basketball. I think in football, teams don't particularly care about players. They move them and bring other players in. Basketball, they pay attention. DeAndre Ayton was on that team when they went to the championship and also on that team when they were up 2-0 on the Bucks to win the finals championship last year. Obviously, they gave it back to the Bucks. Bucks win. But he was on that team for that, and he took a huge step at the start of the season. I saw a new DeAndre Ayton at the start of the season, kind of fizzled out towards the end.
Yeah.
I can't see them parting ways with DeAndre Ayton when you look at what he means to Booker, Mikal Bridges, and then Chris Paul. Just couldn't see it happen.
No, it would have to be a situation where DeAndre Ayton says, I don't want to play for Phoenix.
Yeah, kind of like
would
Debo
have to
Samuel,
happen.
right?
Yeah, and that ain't, listen, that's tough to pitch.
Rapid fire, Jeff. Grizzlies or T-Wolves tonight?
Give me Grizzlies tonight.
Mavs or Jazz?
Give me Jazz.
Warriors or Nuggets?
Give me Warriors. They're sweeping.
All right. Bet it all at mybookie.com because Jeff said so. Thank you for joining us, Jeff.
Jeff.
Thank you,
good
boys.
to see
I appreciate
you.
it.
My guy,
the
man.
basketball aficionado here at Woodward Sports.
We got to make sure tomorrow when we do trivia, we give him no basketball questions.
Yeah.
No NBA questions for Jeff. No NBA questions for Jeff.
Trivia Friday coming up. And, also don't forget at the end of the show today, we're going to do what we did yesterday with Ask Braylon. So if you have any random questions, sports questions, life questions, anything you want to ask Braylon, make sure you put it in the chat, and we will ask that at the end of the show today. Coming up next, though, which college has the most #1 first-round picks in the NFL?
That's easy.
It's easy?
It's easy.
I didn't think it was that easy when I saw the list.
The top 5 should be easy.
All right, and we'll find out where Michigan and Michigan State ranks on that list coming up next. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Syntron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. All that.
is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Hey, listen, when you own a home, you want to keep everything in there safe. I'm talking about your possessions, but I'm not only talking about that, I'm talking about your family too. And that's where Guardian Alarm can give you that peace of mind, making sure that you can leave the house and feel comfortable knowing that other people are making sure that your home is safe. And it's real easy. Just let them know that Woodward Sports sent you, and you give them a call at 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. And it's really that simple. You can keep out anybody that you don't want in your house and just have that peace of mind. You're going to go on vacation this summer. You're going to leave your home alone. And you know what? You want people to have your back. And that's what Guardian Alarm does. Just give them a call today. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Stay out.
I tell you where you don't want to stay out of. You don't want to stay out of the liquor store as it relates to getting some Gypsy vodka.
Stay in.
Stay in. At least once a week, man. Hey, you don't even have to drink it. Put it in your storage barn. Put it up there. Just have it on file, on deck, whenever you want to call on it, because Michigan's gluten-free vodka is the choice. You like vodkas that can blend well with anything? Well, guess what? Here's Gypsy Vodka for you, and it's ready. 50 formulas went into creating this masterpiece, and by God, they got it right on the 50th one. Telling you like this, it is infused, corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. Let me say that again. Corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. This is what you want vodka-wise. Go to your liquor store, ask for it by name, but remember, if you're going to drink, do it responsibly.
Just reading some of the comments here in the chat. It's the bottom line on the Woodward Sports Network, and I love the people that have been around the whole time for Woodward
Mike
Sports.
G, Tammy Chin.
Yeah, Ryan's reaction. Stick says he could solo tackle Joik. Surely he can handle a wide receiver. And you know, I did make that comment about a year ago that I feel like I could tackle Joik.
Right.
I don't think I could do it often, but I think there's a chance. And that's all I would need is just that one chance. Just hold on to one leg for dear life.
There's always a puncher's chance.
Thank you. Thank you.
Especially like you're a guy to play football. I know Joik played at the highest level. He played in the NFL.
Joik's a beast.
But Joik is a beast.
He's a beast.
You know, Joik was a tough guy to tackle, but he's a straight-on runner.
Right.
So like if you get on there, you have some balls about you. You get in there, you take the hit and hold on. You'll be able to get him down.
Can't run without
he's not
your legs.
Gonna shake you.
No, he's gonna run me the hell over.
So you better hey, can you hold on for the ride?
Yep,
because it's gonna be a ride.
But I like that you get that. Listen, there's a puncher's chance.
It is.
I understand that it's not likely, but I do understand that. Hey, things happen.
Things happen.
Rudy got a sack. I can tackle Joik.
We saw LeBron get dunked on by a high school player back in the day who was actually from here. That was
Aaron Rodgers just threw a pick during a boot camp to a high school kid.
You saw Tariq Hill. He got mossed by the player at the camp, the one-hand catch by Tariq Hill. And I know you're going to say, well, he's short. The guy was shorter than Tariq Hill, ladies and gentlemen. So things happen to athletes because we're athletes. We can't turn that competitive nature off, which means you get caught sometimes.
The only thing I can't do is beat Easy in a wrestling match. He beat my ass.
It's a big guy.
At 300 pounds on you is never felt that before in my life.
It's heavy.
Let's get into this.
Pun intended.
It came out, which college has the most first-round draft picks? And I believe this was since 2000, right? Isn't that the caveat, as our good friend D-Mac says?
Shout out to D-Mac.
And when we look at the list, you look at the top 3. I was shocked that Ohio State was number 1 in first round. You know, you're thinking Alabama. You're thinking SEC. I'm thinking LSU. I know Alabama's there, but they're even behind USC, which I wouldn't even put in my top 5.
I think the big thing about this, and we can get to, if we have all of them, we'll get to all of them so you can find out where State and U of M are. But when I look at it, I look at it from this way. Ohio State's always number 1 in their division. They're always number 1 in their conference. They always tend to win the Big Ten, and that's nothing new. They've been doing that at a high clip since 2002. Is when they won a national championship, 2002. Yep. They've been doing it at a high clip. So every year you're losing 1 to 2 games. Now you got all those different recruits. All these recruits are coming in, 5-star quarterback here. You got 5-star quarterbacks transferring out of Ohio State. Talk about Joe Burrow, and last year they had another guy transfer, Q and Ears, if I'm correct. So that lets you know the type of talent that's coming there. And when you consistently win, NFL teams are going to draft teams or draft players that are winning at good institutions. They're always winning. USC has had tons of that run that they were on.
Like the Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush.
2000, 2007.
I mean, we took Mike Williams.
He was a monster. Like, he just had a year off. Like, if Mike would have played,
the Claret rule screwed him.
Well, he went with Claret.
Well, yeah, but because once they approved Claret to go, Mike Williams then went.
Right.
Then they went back on their word and screwed both of them. So
no, what happened was Capitol Hill came back down on them because NCAA took it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court overruled their state court. But yeah, to your point, he did get screwed by that ruling. But they had a ton of guys. Shoot, you drafted 2 USC players in the first round of that draft, if I'm not mistaken. Sean Cody, defensive tackle.
Oh, I forgot about
Sean Cody was drafted first
God.
round. That's two USC players right there. They've had a ton of players in that snapshot. So it doesn't surprise me that Alabama, of course, like they've been churning them out since 2009 with Mark Ingram.
Did you go through the whole list of the 50?
I did not. I was assuming we were going to do
it. So did you see where Michigan was?
10.
At 10, yep. And I think that's
Makes
about
sense.
right. But I always feel like when I'm watching an NFL game and they're doing the introductions,
Michigan guy.
Every lineup has a Michigan guy in it. Every lineup I feel has one.
I think what you see a lot of with Michigan versus other schools, I think with Michigan, they have some guys in the first round. We'll have a Jabril Peppers, or we'll have a couple guys. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson this year, Jake Long a couple years ago. We'll have some players in the first round, but you'll see a lot of Michigan guys in that fourth, that fifth, that sixth, guys that were good players, guys that played 4 years, guys that stayed 4 or 5 years in college. Man, they know how to play, and they're ready to make the team, and they understand what it takes. A lot of times with that Alabama and Ohio State, you'll see guys first, second round, and then if they don't make it, then they just got drafted high versus guys like in Michigan that are willing to do whatever it takes to get on the field and play, and usually they become pretty good starters.
So where do you think Michigan State wound up on this
In
list?
the 20s.
In the 20s?
In the 20s.
Barely in the 20s.
29?
29.
29.
They were right at 29. And a couple of the big names on there, obviously, Plaxico Burress.
Yeah.
Cousins, I believe, was a first-round pick.
Just off of first round. I could be wrong about that.
Okay.
I think Kurt was second.
Okay. So, the Michigan State is another one that I think that's about right. Like, you know, they're
Charles Rogers.
Charles Rogers. We
Plaxico,
took him number 2 overall.
Trey Waynes.
Yeah.
I think Trey Waynes was first round draft pick.
It's crazy to think about that. But when I look at Ohio State beating out every other school, it was shocking to me. Miguel Cabrera coming up to bat.
We got Miggy up.
Bottom of the 6th, 1 out.
Come on.
Standing room only at Comerica Park. Oh, man, look at that little kid. If he gets this hit right now, that little kid's get to witness history.
I would say turn the volume up, but you know what? That'd be
We're good. It's not loud enough, and it could give some people some. Because if he hits it, you're gonna hear the crowd go absolutely crazy.
All right, what we got going on? What we got?
Miguel Cabrera's family is there. Like, how cool is that?
Is it gonna be a double or home run? It's only gonna be a double or home run.
If it's a home run, what do you do with that ball? Oof.
He's swinging good.
He is swinging.
He's swinging smooth.
Strike 1, so it's 0-1. Bottom of the 6th. Tigers are up 1-0. Cabrera at the plate facing Montgomery, who's 77 pitches in to this point.
Come on in, Flannel Sam.
Hey, Flannel Sam. Welcome out of your booth.
We apologize for being unprofessional, but guess what? This doesn't happen too often, so you know what? The hell with it.
You know what? If there's other sports outlets that aren't doing this in Detroit, unprofessional or not, you're stupid.
I agree.
1 hit. 1-1 is the count.
What we got? Here we go.
Big lefty on the
mound.
Here
it is. This is the one.
Oh. Miguel Cabrera taps it foul.
I thought that was it.
My palms are sweating over here.
I thought that was it, man. Where's the baseball bat? I got to get out there.
I don't know how Miggy can handle all that pressure,
He does it well, though. Like, he 3 for 3 last night. We talked about how well he hit last year when he was chasing the 500 home run.
Right.
He started hitting really good towards the end of the year last year in July and August.
Miguel Cabrera at the plate. Time called by the catcher. Pitcher
steps
off.
How you going to ice Miggy like that, man?
The crowd boos, which I love.
It's some BS. How you going to call a timeout? This is Miggy's moment. Get out of here.
All right, here we go. Montgomery pitches. Ball in the dirt.
He does not want to be the guy to get his hit up.
You know what? I would kind of want to be that guy.
You get remembered.
Yeah. I'd do the Rosenbagger and underhand it to him.
Be like Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And just stand there and let Michael Strahan tackle you.
Exactly. You're a part of history. Like, who the hell's going to remember Montgomery outside of this?
Not his wife.
Oh. Ball low.
Good eye.
So
Good eye,
have a
Mickey.
full
Good
count,
eye.
1
Good
out.
eye, Mickey.
Bottom of the 6th. 1-run game. Tigers are in the lead over the New York Yankees. And don't forget, the Tigers are in a home stand after this.
Favorite Tiger. Check. 500 home runs. Check. I like that sign. It's pretty good.
Comerica Park is on fire. Everybody's standing up. They're cheering. Montgomery rocks back into his motion.
Swing away.
Miggy checked his swing, but he went. He went. He went. He knew he went too. So Miggy 0 of 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts.
Hey, man, this guy right here.
And a smile.
I'm telling you. This guy put the bad energy out there.
You did this, Mayor?
You know Comerica is literally, we're on Maple and Woodward. Comerica's right at Woodward and 75. He put that energy out there. He traveled down Woodward, man, and made his way into Comerica Park. And he got into the batter's box.
Well, Miguel Cabrera, he's smiling. I still think he's got a chance. He'll probably have one more at bat today, and definitely tomorrow, man. Comerica Park, if it doesn't get done today.
Who said he was going to hit it on Friday?
You did.
I'm just waiting.
We're all going to owe Braylon lunch.
Exactly. You all going to owe me lunch.
Is there anything you don't win at? I'm sick of this, and I've only been on the air with you for 2 days.
Hey, man. I can't seem to win in the AFC Championship game, but it's neither here nor there.
All right, coming up next. Where am I at on the prep? Sports Illustrated had an interesting take on who the Lions should draft, and it's a wide receiver. And I know we've been having this wide receiver conversation. It's somebody I like, somebody you do not like.
No, that's not true. I like him a lot.
I just think there's better options.
I think there's better options, including one that's already in the NFL.
All right, we will figure that out. We'll see who Sports Illustrated says the Lions should draft. Coming up next, my name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is Woodward Sports Network, The Bottom Line.
Go, Miggy.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Sticker Genius is the official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. Sticker Genius actually put all of this beautiful wall covering all over the Woodward Sports studio with Planet Fitness signage and Woodward Sports signage, and they did it in less than a day. If you want to see what they can do for you, just visit stickergenius.com. You see they have custom stickers, wall graphics, floor graphics, vehicle graphics, pretty much anything you could possibly want. And if you want them to hook you up like they did us, visit their website at stickergenius.com.
And if you got food in your tummy and you want better food in your tummy, there is only one place to go to get better food in your tummy, because they are the snobs. That's because they have the best wings. Wingsnob.com right now. Place your order. You got that Jamaican jerk. They got the lemon pepper, fresh, juicy, and hormone-free. Get that mouth watering. I could have some wangs in my mouth right now, baby. Wingsnob.com. Get on that website today. And welcome back to The Bottom Line right here on the Woodward Sports Network. This is such a fun day with the Tigers baseball going on. It's kind of distracting me with my ADD, but that's all right. We're going to get through the show. And Sports Illustrated came out with an article yesterday, and Braylon and I have kind of been going back and forth on this one particular player. If you don't know, I'm huge into dynasty fantasy football. That's like my geek thing. And this guy, to me, is one of the top 2 wide receivers that will be taken early in any dynasty draft, or really any fantasy football draft moving forward. And the name that keeps popping up in all of my research, and when I watch film, I love the way this guy has pulled away from defenders against Alabama. He's fast, he's big, he's strong. It's not Braylon, it's Treylon. Treylon Burks. And we got in kind of a conversation earlier, and here you go. Could Arkansas wide receiver Treylon Burks help the Lions move the chains? Anyone who looks like a combination of DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Randy Moss on game film would do the trick in Detroit. He's 6'3", physical target. He's got a big catch radius. He's also both a matchup problem pre-snap when he is running his routes. And Braylon, you like Treylon Burks, but you don't think he's the best wide receiver for the Lions, per se.
I mean, he could be a great wide receiver for anybody. I mean, he definitely has size. Just look at the matchup. Look at the comparison, what they said. DK Metcalf mixed with Deebo Samuel. That sounds like a mutant that I need on my team.
Yes, please.
It sounds like a guy I need right now. I mean, you look at him right now. He's over 16 yards a catch, which means he can move the ball after he catches. He's a big guy. He's tough to tackle. So he's like a Deebo Samuel type guy, man. He's really like a Deebo Samuel type guy. Plays well without the ball. Matches up well on any DB. He's physical at the point of attack. Got better his junior year at route running. His route running was very questionable going into his junior year. Got better. Still want to see him get better at that. I think the reason why you're seeing Sports Illustrated send Treylon Burks to Detroit Lions is because Treylon Burks is going to be one of those wide receivers that's still around when the Detroit Lions get on the clock at 32. Jahan Dotson is going to be gone. Chris Olave is going to be gone. Garrett Wilson, who we'll talk about shortly, he'll be gone. Drake London will be gone. Jamison Williams out of Alabama. ACL tear and all will be gone. So I think they're looking at it from the standpoint. Treylon Burks is a guy. Still some question marks around him. You look at 32, Treylon's a guy that could be there at 32, and he reminds you of Deebo Samuel. I think he'll fit well because we talked about how much Deebo Samuel will fit good yesterday. And speaking of that, I'm still on Deebo Samuel. You don't have to draft Treylon Burks, which is a guy that is trying to be a Deebo Samuel. Go get Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yesterday, we put the poll up in our chat on YouTube for the bottom line about who wants Deebo Samuel, and we were about 70-30. Most people wanted Deebo Samuel. And then today, Big D Energy throws up the same poll on their chat, and it's almost the exact inverse. 60% of the people didn't want Deebo Samuel.
That's nuts.
So, and there's a divide in this building. You hear Adam talking about it like, hey, and D-Mac talking about it like the Lions aren't ready to spend that amount of money on a player like that. They can't spend the $20 million a year on a Deebo Samuel. Well, if Treylon Burks is in that same form, you're getting him on a rookie contract. That's not a bad deal.
Man, I understand with that, and I love how now everything from D-Mac, from Alex to the fans, everything is, well, we don't want to spend that money. We aren't ready to spend the money. When the hell are you going to be ready to spend that money? Because sometimes certain players come along. I played the game with Bobby Wagner. I let you guys talk me out of that one. I played the game with Tyrann Mathieu. I played the game with Von Miller. I played the game with insert free agent that could help you, that could get your team turned around, that wasn't a young kid. Deebo Samuel's still on his rookie deal, which means once you trade for him, whatever that trade is, you got to pay him next year or maybe cut an extension this year. He's a guy that is worth paying, and you have the money. If you're going to keep saving money for a player, who the hell are you saving it for? When a player comes around and I think you could pay, I think you have the money, you have the finances to pay, and it won't take away from what you've done. I think Deebo Samuel was a guy that you do that with. I mean, everybody's trying to bank on the draft. I don't understand why Detroit fans are banking on the draft because that hasn't been Detroit's cup of tea for 67 years or so.
Roughly 67 years.
Roughly 67 years.
But you know the saying, scared money don't make money, right?
You got to spend it to win it.
And I think Lions fans have this weird concept, and it pisses me off because even when we have good assets, we're so quick to want to trade them away for more picks to get more assets. It's like, no, you secured the bag with this guy. Hold on to him and now build elsewhere. You know, you heard it with T.J. Hockenson last year, right? Oh, we need to get rid of T.J. Hockenson. We need to get rid of – it's like, no, we have a tight end. Yeah. If we got rid of him, we try to find somebody just like him. So set that, forget it, and move the hell on and address another position. I hate when we try to parlay this stuff constantly because, like you said, you're just kind of kicking the can down the road. If you can't hold on to a good player now, when are you ever going to be able to hold on to a good player?
This is my thing, and I think a lot of people, you're starting to see the shift in terms of when we did the poll yesterday versus when Adam did the poll today. You see people don't want him today. It's because people believe in these narratives or people believe what their perception is telling them. It's like, oh, you know what? He's another one of these diva guys. Why do we want to bring Deebo Samuel in to his organization? He quit on his organization. He no longer wants to play for the 49ers. He couldn't even finish a rookie deal there. He couldn't even honor. That's what you're getting out of fans and people. They're thinking that way. But what they're not thinking at in terms of Deebo Samuel, and we'll just start with him alone. When I signed a contract, if I'm Deebo Samuel, when I signed a contract, you guys never told me you're going to make me a running back. You never told me you were going to make me a running back, but you know what I did? I took it in stride. I said, hey, is this what we're doing? Is this the offense? Is this what we're going to run around? Is this how we're going to win? Is this how we're going to get to the NFC Championship and potentially the Super Bowl? I'm all for it. He did everything you asked him to do. And then he has to get paid because the reason running backs don't get paid like that anymore because their shelf life is like this. So all those hits, all those carries, they start to add up. Look at Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
Look at Ezekiel Elliott. Look how fast Todd Gurley ended. So now you mean to tell me I'm Deebo Samuel. Not only do I have 1,400 yards receiving, I have almost 400 yards rushing the ball, and you're not going to give me another contract, even though you changed my contractual language? That's BS. And that's why I say stop worrying about the narrative. This is a guy that can help your team, wants to help your team, and is a dog. And you already know that. You don't have to hope that.
What have the Rams been doing? They go get players.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
They
go
it,
get
they
players.
Believe it, they buy it.
And they buy it. And they deal with the consequences down the road, whether it costs them a draft pick now,
Yep.
where they have to restructure salary cap, or they give an upfront signing bonus so it's not as heavy on the back end. They go get players. We need to start going to get players because, if you just sit around and wait for everybody to come to you, it's never going to happen. We've done that for years. Now it's time for us. We finally have a culture that people want to come and play for, and we'll talk to Corey coming up in a little bit, and he has some video from his press conference where people are saying that they trust Dan Campbell. They can see that when players are talking about him, this is becoming a culture place that football guys want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Let's take advantage of that for once in our lives.
I want to be a part of it too, and I've been nothing but optimistic. Brian Armani has infected me somehow, so now I'm this optimistic guy for the Detroit Lions.
Good.
And what Dan Campbell and Sheila Hamp as well as Brad Holmes can do. But help me. Help me, Detroit Lions. Help me come further to you as a fan. Help me come that much further by going and making a move I know you should make. You know you should go after Deebo Samuel. You may not even get him. That's been a big thing.
But the effort.
You knew you weren't going to get Deshaun Watson. We knew you may not going to get Deebo Samuel because the 49ers have to want to trade him to the team that they're going to trade him to. So that may not be us. I get all that. But show me the effort. If you show me the effort, now I'm like, you know what? They are really, really trying. Stop showing me these $1 million players that you're signing because, the optics looks good. We're not spending. We can walk away from the deal. I'm tired of you guys picking up players that you can so easily walk away from. I don't want those players.
Right.
I want somebody that you can't walk away from. Deebo Samuel's that guy.
I'm sold. Let's go get Deebo right now.
Let's get him.
Let's go. Let's go, Martha. Or Sheila, I'm sorry. Wow, I just had a flashback.
It's all good.
Sheila Hamp, I know you can get it done. Coming up next, Braylon is going to break down some other wide receivers that are coming out in the draft. And I love this because watching you watch film is a lot different than me and my boys sitting around drinking and watching film. I'll tell you that
probably a
much.
little more similar than you think.
Yeah.
You know some stuff.
I know some stuff, but it's the nuances. I can paint a picture, but I'm not a Picasso, right? I'm not a professional. This is true. I can build a doghouse. I can't build a real house. And that's the way I look at it. Braylon's breakdown coming up next. This is the bottom line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Mr. Braylon Edwards.
And this is Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
You asked for it and we listened. The Seafood Festival is back at Big Boy, including a Friday night seafood buffet. Catch it while you can, available at participating locations until April 24th. Also available, the new fish sandwich. We'll see you at Big Boy.
What's up, everybody? This is Flannel Sam with My Bookie. Because when I go to place a bet, I go to My Bookie. Go there today and enter promo code Woodward when you sign up for free money. That's right, free money. Just for entering Woodward. You can sign up for me on your My Bookie account. Who would not want something like that? And when you go there, there's plenty of sports to bet on. There's baseball, there is playoff basketball, and pretty soon, playoff hockey. Bet anywhere, anytime, any day, and if you have a gambling problem, call the gambling hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Thank you, Flannel Sam, for My Bookie. Welcome back. This is Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. And this is something new that we wanted to start on the show. Braylon's been dying to break down some film. And you know what? The draft is a week from today. There's been a lot of talk about wide receivers, so why not go to a guy who was a professional wide receiver to understand what these guys are doing while they're coming out of college and what scouts are looking for on NFL teams. Braylon's got the big board going on right now, and shout out to SMA. We appreciate you. Who we breaking down today, Braylon?
All right, today I figured we'll start with Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, by most people, is the #1 wide receiver in the draft. You see what he's done at Ohio State. Had a really tremendous year, had over 1,000 yards. I want to see he operated 15 yards a catch. Want to talk to you about why he's so good and why he will be #1. As you see him in the end zone, this right here is just a receiver screen. Watch the acceleration up the sideline. Watch the acceleration up the sideline. That's the 4-3 you see right there. That's what everybody can do nowadays. We're going to get into that. That 4-3 is what people want to see. You got to be able to run by people. Run that back for me, Alex. Go ahead and run that back. Take it on back.
And one thing, like this, I told you, like I'm really big into dynasty football, and that's one thing when I'm watching film for these guys. I'm watching if they can. I'm watching if they can beat the angles, because that's when you know a guy is super fast, right? When a guy has the angle of pursuit, like 27 does here, he ends up catching them. But can you outrun those angles? That's when I know you're NFL ready.
100%. You want to know if they can outrun the angle. Now, if he was just focused on 27, he would have outran 27's angle. But what he sees is go a little bit further down. Sees another guy down here. Not going to outrun his angle. So this is a guy 6 foot, 188 pounds. They have told him that he is not that big. I beg to differ. Watch the stiff arm and watch the physicality of Garrett Wilson. Boom! Look at the stiff arm. Move. Get out my way. Still up. Still going. That's an additional counted foul. That's an additional 12 yards. That's an additional 12 yards. He could have went out of bounds. He could have been the guy to go out of bounds, but not only is he 4'3", he's also physical. Now look at him right here. Run this back for me, Alex. You can put him anywhere. You can put him on the outside, like we just saw that receiver screen. You can put him on the other side, which you'll see shortly. But you also can put him in the slot, in the red zone, and he runs tremendous routes. Watch this. After this play, you can let it play, Alex. Right here. Sets the guy up. Comes inside. Kills his leverage. There's no safety. This is the DB. He's the only one there. Garrett Wilson knows that. So what he does on that last play, he stems him outside on that play. Starts outside. Go back, Alex.
And what I liked about it is look at the DB.
So
the DB took inside leverage.
Pause. Oh, no, it's okay. We're working this for the first time. It's great. So what you'll see is you'll see zero coverage. So all that means is that everybody across is covered one-on-one. So this guy literally has his back turned, doesn't want Garrett to go inside. Garrett attacks his outside leverage, gets the guy to stay here, goes right under his butt. Easy touchdown. Garrett understands the concept. He understands the assignment. Go to the next play. This is against Michigan. Now, this one hurts my heart, but we got the win, so I don't care. Look at this. Even when he's covered, up here, he's covered. DB is in great position on this play. He's covered. Like, he's covered. The guy should have not. The guy should have made the play. Garrett Wilson's just that much better. Garrett Wilson is that much better. Garrett Wilson is a top 5 player. Watch the ball. Watch the hands. Catches it. Look at that. With his hands. Secures it to the tuck. Finds himself. Gets down. Scores a touchdown. Garrett Wilson is lights out. He can do it from the slot. He can do it from the receiver screen. Even when he's covered, he's still not covered. 6'2". The guy can make plays, man. What you think about Garrett Wilson over there?
I like Garrett Wilson and the speed. Speed is speed.
Speed is king.
That's what separates him from a lot of guys coming out in this draft class. Look at here. Look at that cutback.
Look at the cut. He understands the position. That is leverage, size, speed. That speed dynamics come from the quads and the hamstring. Put that foot in the ground, and he went. Let's bring up a taller, different receiver.
And this is your guy.
Type. This is my guy.
So like yesterday we were having the conversation if the Lions had to draft a wide receiver at 2, because
taking Drake London.
You like Drake London out of anybody in this draft class.
If the Lions have to take a receiver at number 2, it has to be Drake London. This is why. This is what Calvin Johnson was really good at. Here you go. Ball's on the 3-yard line or 2-yard line. Right here, you got a DB that is man-to-man. He is in Drake London's face. You got safety help over here, so you can't run anything in here. The only thing you can do is an outside deal. It's got to be a fade. It's got to be a fade stop, or it's got to be a comeback on the outside. He's covered. He knows he's covered. Watch this. Decent release. Look at that. The DB's done everything right. Only thing he couldn't do right is be 6'5", run 4'3", and understand how to catch the ball like he did. That is a big-time play by a big-time player. And if you watch, because Alex did a great job with different angles, he's never worried. Like, the DB has his hands in his chest. He's never worried. You never want to let the DB get his hands in your chest. Run that angle back, Alex. This is the angle right here. Run this angle back right here. So, boom. Catches it. We see it. That's the first angle. Alex had another good angle. It's called the back copy. That's what it's called in football. That was the end zone copy. It's the back copy. There's another angle you'll see coming in now. Watch how relaxed he is when he's covered. Look how relaxed he is. I'm covered. And oh, by the way, all I need is one hand. Drake London. Here's another play. Ball's up in the air. 6'5", 203. Ooh. Go up and make a catch. What they teach you as a wide receiver, especially the tall guys, high point the ball. Look at this catch. Look at that. He goes up. He catches the ball. He high points it. Here's another one. Look at this. Slovis throwing the ball right here. Look at that. High point, ball down at the 1-yard line. Another thing you're seeing with him that you got to love, he's 6'5", but he's getting by guys. He's getting by guys. The reason why he's having to stop and jump up is because Slovis and Dart, who were the quarterbacks last year at USC, are average quarterbacks. So he's having to come back to the ball. They're giving him a chance at the 50-50 ball. That's why I say if you're going to draft a receiver too, it's got to be Drake London because that's easy. That's easy to him. He can do this, and he's physical. The man will run you over. One more time, high point. You got to love this stuff. He's still going. He gets up. He has the attitude, has the flair. He played with Amon-Ra St. Brown before.
And they've been talking about it on Twitter, too, about him coming to Detroit.
50-50 balls are what players live on in the NFL now. Quarterbacks live on it, too. I mean, the film speaks for itself. And he can run good routes. I didn't get you the right video. I wanted to show you one with him actually running routes. Because for a guy that's 6'5", he can run routes. He can bend down, get into routes. Reminds me of Julio Jones. Julio Jones, 6'5", but runs all the routes in the route tree. I think Drake London can be that same type of guy. That is Drake London. That was Garrett Wilson. I think both of these guys, tremendous talent.
Definitely. Another thing I like about Drake London, too, is you remember how Randy Moss would never put his arms up till the ball was very close? You see that kind of a little bit with Drake.
It's called lay hands.
Yeah.
Lay hands.
And you could see him tracking it. Then he turns around and high points it. By that time, the DB doesn't know where the hell the ball is. So, like, that's definitely a skill.
It's called lay hands, and what it does, it just gives you the opportunity to be the only one that can catch the ball. Because you don't tell the DB, hey, when it's coming. It's like once the hands go up, if I'm a receiver, once the hands start going up, once you see the hands, the DB is trained not to look for the ball like you are. DB is trained to look at your hands.
Right.
Look at your hands. So if you're putting them up too early, the DB now can look or run or play through your hands. When you're last second, like Stick is saying that Drake London does, ball's here. The ball's about to drop. And you're like, boom. And once you do that, the DB has no chance to get to it.
I'm sold on Drake London now. I love his size. Yeah. I love his speed. Out of the two that you just highlighted, obviously Drake London's your guy, right?
Yeah, if you're going to draft a receiver at 2, it's got to be Drake London because of the touchdown effect, because of the red zone effect. This guy can be dominant. If you're going to draft somebody at 2, they got to be a guy that can potentially get you 15 touchdowns or more a year, and I think that would be Drake London.
And you think the quarterbacks that Drake London was playing with were kind of holding him back a little bit?
I think they were young and they were trying to figure it out. That's why you see Slovis transferred. Once Lincoln Riley got to USC, Slovis transferred, and so did Jackson Dart. Both quarterbacks transferred, and I believe that's because Caleb Williams is going to be starting quarterback for USC. He also transferred from Oklahoma to USC with Lincoln Riley.
Man,
great. It's going to be a hell of a year, man. We talk about the NFL. I think we forget about the college transfer portal and how much movement it was last year. From Brian Kelly leaving Notre Dame, going to LSU, Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma, going to USC. It's going to be a fun year in college football, as is the NFL.
Yeah, and then throw in the NIL and the chaos that brings. We're going to discuss NIL coming up a little bit later on in the show.
NIL calls Jay Wright.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that.
It's affecting everything. It's affecting everything. That's why they said Harbaugh was thinking about leaving, because you got to re-recruit essentially every year. If I bring you in and I don't keep you happy year 1, you're out the door. That's not the way it used to be. It was 4-year commitment. Sorry.
I agree with you, man. Like, look at a guy like Jay Wright. Jay Wright, his players, Jalen Brunson, his past players, Kyle Lowry, he doesn't have the players that leave early. Jay Wright's a guy that builds his team up. Like, if you look at his national championship winning teams, I want to say 2016, 2018, you look at when those teams won, it's 4-year starters. Look at the team that just went to the Final Four this year, 4- and 5-year starters. He can't do that anymore with the NIL deals. The NIL deals are hampering him. The bigger schools are taking all the money in the bigger states. Jay Wright was like, look, 2 national championships. I came, I saw, I conquered. I'm going to go out on top.
Well, lots of rookie talk coming up. Obviously, the NFL draft is happening a week from today. But we got our own set of nice rookies here in Detroit. And we put up something on our social media yesterday. It sparked a debate, and we're about to have that same debate right here on the show. Which rookie, if you could keep them for their entire career for each team, would you keep in Detroit? So we're going to talk about that next. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. That is Braylon Edwards.
This is Woodward Sports Network, The Bottom Line.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Let me tell you a little bit about Les Stanford. I mean, you look outside right now, it's beautiful out. Maddie just came in here, said it's like 70 degrees. How nice would it be to be in a brand new whip, have Woodward Sports blasting on your radio as you're cruising down Woodward or Michigan Avenue, where Les Stanford is. They are the Corvette Kings as well, so if you're looking to get something super crispy for this summer, that Corvette is looking nice. 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. Woo! Woo-wee. Go get yourself a new Corvette from the Corvette King, Les Stanford. And LesStanford.com. Find new roads. Braylon, man, you were putting it in on that last segment.
Let me get back right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Get my back
snare
up
my headphones.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I mean, you guys actually have me wanting to talk about something that I know. I know extremely well is being a wide receiver, getting drafted, what they're looking for. And that's what they're looking for. The NFL is looking at, and they see certain guys. You see where the game is going from a wide receiver standpoint. There are no just slow guys out there wide receiver anymore. And if they are, man, they're guys that are doing a ton. There are guys that are mixing in. They're putting them in H-back. They're putting them at tight end. They're putting them in flex. They're also putting them in A and Y. But just looking at this draft, this is a very, very talented draft for wide receivers, and I'll be breaking down 2 a day. Tomorrow we'll probably do Jamison Williams and Jahan Dotson. We'll figure it out. But it's going to be interesting to see. The record is 7. The record for receivers drafted in a particular round, a particular first round, is 7. It was 2004. And I think I can name all 7.
I mean, do you want me to challenge you right now?
I think, why not?
All right, let's do it. I'm going to Google that real quick. 2004 NFL wide receivers.
All right, let me see. Let me see if I can do them all. Pause. Definitely pause.
All
right, so it was 2004.
Yep. Lions are in there.
Yeah, 100%. I know they got Roy Williams out here.
Boom.
But Larry would have went first.
Yep.
Larry was first. Roy was second.
Yep.
This is where I forget, but I just know the names. I know Reggie Williams.
Correct.
I know Lee Evans.
Correct.
Michael Jenkins.
Correct.
Rashawn Woods.
Correct.
Matt Jones.
I'm not seeing him. Michael Clayton.
No. It's 8, actually. Matt Jones, quarterback for Arkansas.
Oh, God. When they converted him.
They converted him wide receiver.
Yeah.
And then I was going to go Michael Clayton, who actually – was he rookie of the year? Michael Clayton actually was rookie of the year that year.
And then you got Jericho Cotchery taken later.
Second round.
Yeah.
That was a class. 8 receivers technically in the first round, but Matt Jones was listed at quarterback when he drafted.
This is a deep wide receiver class this year. And I hate to keep reverting back to fantasy football, but that is the dominant. There's only like 3 dynasty running backs, like an Isaiah Spiller and those guys that are coming out. No. Wide receivers where you want to go if you're doing fantasy football this
look
year.
Who's having success. I mean, you look at Matt Stafford last year. It was Cooper Kupp. It was Odell Beckham, Robert Woods before he got hurt.
Yep.
You look at Cincinnati. I mean, they had a 3-headed monster as well with T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, as well as the man, Jamar Chase. You look at any team. I mean, look at Buffalo. Buffalo had 4 wide receivers last year in the playoffs. Gabriel Davis. You had Cole Beasley. You had Emmanuel Sanders. And you got Stephon Diggs, who you paid a lot of money to. So you got to have a wide receiver if you want to win. Receivers are going to be more and more of a hot commodity moving forward.
Well, with that being said, we got a wide receiver who was a rookie last year, in Amon-Ra St. Brown. And we asked the question, which rookie would you want to keep for their entire career if you could? And it's one over the course of each team. Who are you taking? First of all, what sport are you going to start with?
It doesn't matter because the way we're doing it is you're just picking one, so I guess it really doesn't matter the sport. Alex and I actually were talking about this, off air. I mean, you could put Penei Sewell up there, to be honest. Penei Sewell will be a guy if you look at Penei Sewell from this standpoint, it doesn't matter what happens with a regime in terms of the offensive output or what they do, what offense they want to bring, what they want to run in, what their identity is. Penei Sewell's a guy that's going to play.
Right.
Penei Sewell's a guy that's going to be a player. You can look at a guy like that and know that it's kind of like Joe Thomas. Every year, the Cleveland Browns were trash. I was there with Joe. He made the Pro Bowl his rookie year, 07, which was the year I made it, 07. Joe was a monster, and we were trash. Like every year he was on a bad team, but guess what? He wasn't bad. So you can look at Penei Sewell as being something like that. I think Mo Sider is another good one. Lucas Raymond could be up there as well. Lucas Raymond actually has more points for him than Mo Sider is this year. But Mo is amazing. He's an amazing player, and he's playing with the right situation. You got Stevie Y. You got to trust the process through Stevie Y. So that could be a situation, but. Enough beating around the bush. I'm taking Cade Cunningham.
You gonna take a Cade?
I'm taking Cade Cunningham. I just believe that he came in and did everything the right way his first year. Like the way he came into the league from a leadership standpoint, guys gravitated around him. Like Sadiq Bey balled out last year. He didn't have to listen to Cade Cunningham. He listened. Jeremy Grant. He listened to a certain extent. When he came in there, Marvin Bagley has built a relationship since he's been here for these last month and a half, you'll think. He's done a really good job. Cade's a leader. You need Cade to score 30 in a quarter. We've seen him score 27 in the fourth quarter appearance. Whatever you need out of him, he can do. He's showing you he can score it, and he's connected to the community, which we'll find out more moving forward with Woodward Sports. So I think Cade's the guy.
You know what I love about this conversation?
We can have it.
We can have this conversation.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, when's the last time we've been able to look at all four sports teams and think we have an identifiable star moving forward? And
1990?
With the Lions, you're talking two stars, like you said, Penei Sewell or Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's your pick there. For the Pistons, obviously, Cade Cunningham is the guy for the Pistons. Spencer Torkelson, and then you got
Riley Green.
Riley Green. Then you got Mo Sider. So I just love that we can have this conversation, and there's people that are divided in the chat as well. Lots of Siders, lots of Amon-Ra St. Browns. But I'm with you. To me, Cade Cunningham, out of all of those fantastic rookies that we have, is the most transcendent. And the reason I say that is obviously numbers don't lie. And this dude was putting up months that only Michael Jordan was putting up, as far as we're talking 20 points, 7 assists, contributing on that level. Not getting any love nationally for it, of course.
But what else is new when it relates to Detroit sports?
Right. Ashton, the trainer, is making sure we're getting on the map, though. But for me, it has to be Cade Cunningham. He is the future of Detroit sports, and that's not a knock on any of the other guys. Like, I don't want this conversation to, Torkelson's not the guy. Right. No, Tork could very well be that guy. The pop off that dude's bat is incredible. Mo Sider, what he is on the ice is incredible. And we saw Amon-Ra St. Brown. I just think Cade is that guy that will sell the most jerseys, that will get the most endorsements. I mean, we see it with his Cure Auto Insurance. We see it with Hall Financial on here already.
I'm Cade Cunningham.
That's the only thing he's got to work on is his personality. I'm Cade Cunningham.
It'll come. I mean, I put you this way. Look at Steph Curry. Look how much on-screen stuff Steph Curry has done. Steph still is the same. Steph is another guy that can work on his personality. He's amazing, but when you see him do interviews. But just going back to this and put a bow on it from my perspective, Penei Sewell, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I heard some people say Amon-Ra St. Brown in the chat. The problem with the wide receiver position, one, you seem to want to give all your wideouts away nowadays, franchises, so who knows if he's going to be here. But with that being said, to play wideout, you depend on the offensive line. Offensive line has got to protect so you can get the ball. Then you depend on the quarterback. Got to have a quarterback to be able to get you the ball. With an offensive lineman, you just come and do your job. With a defensive lineman, you come do your defense, period. You come do your job, and that's why I would take Penei Sewell over Amon-Ra St. Brown, because it don't matter who's playing quarterback. The big uglies is going to be the big uglies. They're going to go out there, they're going to hit somebody, and you saw the attitude, and you see who he is when he got into it with Aaron Donald.
I love that.
You see that?
I love that so much.
I'm telling you, that would be, if I'm going the football route, it's that guy. Overall, it's Cade Cunningham, but I'm not sleeping on Mo Sider. This is not one of those exercises where we're tearing some players down to build other players up. All those players are up. We're just picking the best from the up in terms of what we think.
And that's such a good conversation that we can have. Here's some of the tweets that were out. The answer is Mo. You don't let a defenseman with his skill leave the organizations. I don't think the question is if Mo will win the Norris, but how many times he wins the trophy, truthfully. I hope that they're all here a long time. Silly question. The importance of the team is no doubt easily CC. There are 15, Cade Cunningham is CC. There are easily 15 hoopers and 25 hockey and baseball players and 53 football players. Cade is by far the number one I go with. Sider number 2, Torkelson number 3, and I like Brown a lot. So 4 isn't to say he's a bum. It just happened on this particular list, and I think that's the point we're trying to make. None of these dudes are bums.
Yeah. No, and I like the last comment. He said silly question. I mean, it's not a silly question. It's a fun question. And it doesn't matter that there's less players on the basketball team, because obviously in basketball, you draft one player, you can change the franchise. Yeah, I definitely get that. Look what LeBron did in Cleveland, and the list goes on in terms of what guys have done and changed franchises. But with that being said, there's tons of examples. If you take this player off a team, they're not the same team, and they won't be the same team. And it's in hockey, baseball as well. So a little pushback on that one.
Sorry, just got distracted by the Tigers game. Victor Reyes with a double, so hopefully we get another Miguel Cabrera at bat before this game is over.
Beautiful, lucky double.
Yeah, Curtis had another one. Mo will be top 3 at his position for years. Cade, one player with the ball in his hand, big impact on the game. Torque, one of the best young bats in the major leagues. So, I mean,
it goes back to what you said. Gotta just be happy that we can even have this conversation. And we're not even talking about just one player from teams. We're talking about multiple players, at least with the exception of the Pistons, multiple players.
I mean, if we really want to get technical, we could still say Killian, since the amount of games he played still only equates him to a rookie.
Sadiq Bey is still year 2. I mean, that's still young.
That's a young core right there. You know, Isaiah Stewart, if we're talking
Beef Stew.
I love it. I love it.
The young Jason Maxell.
All the GMs that we have, everybody that's bringing these organizations along are doing the right thing at the right time, and we haven't been able to say that in a long time here in Detroit.
I think it's also a good thing. I know we got to get to a break. The last thing I'll say about it is it's good that it's happening in each team, because now you got the organizations, you got the front offices competing.
Right.
Because if I'm Troy Weaver, I'm definitely looking to see what Stevie Y is over there doing. If I'm Stevie Y, I'm definitely looking to see what Brad Holmes is over there doing.
In a healthy way, right?
In a very healthy way. Because, you know, if all teams suck, there's no immediate pressure on you per se. But now the teams are starting to figure it out. You're like, man, we can't be the ones to suck anymore.
Exactly. You don't want to be in the basement.
Yeah.
Tigers.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. All right, Grossman just got on with an infield hit, so it looks like Miguel Cabrera will make it up this inning unless there is a double play. It's the bottom of the 8th. We got runners on 1st and 3rd. Tigers are up 1-0 over the Yankees. 3 batters away from Miguel Cabrera, and we will definitely bring that live to you next. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is Woodward Sports Network, The Bottom Line.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues surrounding mental health and substance use disorder. They have recently started and have actually finished their second podcast called This Is the F Word, and F Word stands for fentanyl, just talking about how substance use disorder is affecting our community, especially with fentanyl. Also talk about mental health. There's so many different levels of mental illness. There's so many different spectrums. There's 1 all the way to 10. So you don't know what you have some, and that's why we're here to help. That's why SMA is here to help you. If you're struggling with anything, feel free to go out to the website, thesportsma.com. thesportsma.com.
And today is Thursday. That means tomorrow is Friday, and that means, oh yeah, the seafood buffet is going on at Big Boy. Seafood Fest going on right now through the 24th, so you only got like 3 more days to get to Big Boy and get yourself seafood, get that sandwich, get that popcorn shrimp. I'm a sucker for popcorn shrimp. So
I love popcorn shrimp.
Dude, I can eat 4,000 of them. Yeah. Dip them in butter.
That's like only equivalent to like 15.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I love it. You eating them big shrimp, man. You got that, that Big Boy
Tiger prawns, man.
Big Boy Seafood Fest going on right now to the 24th. Make sure you head out there this weekend. Welcome back to the Bottom Line right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We are 2 batters away from Miguel Cabrera getting to the plate. So as soon as that happens, we'll stop everything and watch that around with y'all. But I thought this was a fun topic. You brought it up yesterday.
I did.
And we had a night to think about it. NIL, obviously, it's here. It's going to be
name, image, and likeness.
You're never going to be able to put the toothpaste back in the tube, as Ryan Ermani says on this. It's out there. It's happening forever.
Yeah. For better or for worse.
But we kind of wanted to talk about players of the past that really could have cashed in on NIL money. You think you're one?
Hell yeah, I would have cashed in. I want to cash in over the level of the guys that we're going to bring up. I think I would have made some money. 4 years in college, I would have got paid.
I'm not sure if you can answer this question, but while you were in college, did you ever have somebody say, "Hey, let me pay you to endorse me," and then you had to be like, "Nah," just because of the rules?
No.
Okay.
The only thing that ever happened to me one time it came up is I did a party. I think when I was turning 21, my 21st birthday party. We promoted on the radio, and we did it, and I found out like from what do you call that division in football, with the rules and regulations.
Okay.
It'll come to me, but whatever. But they reached out to my mom and was like, "Hey, if he goes to that party, he's in violation because they can't." Back then, you can't make money off your name and image. So by them using my name, I couldn't go to the party. So I didn't even go to my own 21st birthday party because I would have got suspended.
It's like the opposite of draft day. Nobody showed up to his party. You can show up to your own party. What the hell?
Exactly. It was a hell of a party, too, from what I hear.
Oh, man, that's awful.
From what I hear.
So name, image, and likeness. What pro athletes or college athletes that turned pro do you think would have made the most money under this situation? And if you guys want to comment in the chat, I'd love to hear from you who you think, because I think we got a solid list of names here.
I'm telling you,
Braylon.
My list. You go first.
You want me to go? The first name that popped into my head was Michael Vick.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Vick was a phenom when he was at Virginia Tech, and you heard all about him. You heard all about just where he was going to get drafted. You just heard everything that this is the next guy. And not only that, he was transforming the position. Yeah. We had the Randall Cunninghams of the past. Steve McNair was kind of a mobile quarterback at that time, but nobody was Mike Vick. And when Mike Vick came out, he took the world by storm. So at Virginia Tech, I'm sure he cashed in a little bit because he was rocking some gold chains out of Newport News, and I don't think he was getting that money from home. But I think he could have been a millionaire rolling into the NFL.
And I think he definitely would have made some money. He didn't necessarily ball out his sophomore and junior. His freshman, sophomore year. Really had a strong junior campaign, capped off with a national championship appearance in which they lost to Florida State and Chris Winkie and my man, who's my receiver on that team? Peter Ward. Shout out to Peter Ward. But he was a baller, man. Mike Vick definitely was transcendent in what he did for that position, like you said. I think the speed. They've been running quarterback.
Right.
Randall Cunningham was a ridiculous athlete. Steve Young was very fast for a quarterback, period. Not a white quarterback, for a quarterback. Steve Young, the lucky lefty.
But super fast for a white quarterback.
He was, man, that play, he ran over that boy from the Rams. Anyway, but you're right. He would have got paid. Would have got broke off. I still like my list, though. I still got some heat over here, man.
I like this by Second City because I didn't even think of this. Tim Tebow. Tebow would have made bank.
Tebow would have turned it all down. He would have gave it all to the Lord.
Yeah, that's fine, though. He still would have made it.
No,
tax-free, though.
I agree.
Tax-free, though.
He gave it to the Lord.
You want me to go with the other names on my list, too?
Yeah, go ahead. Knock him down.
Another guy that I had on my list was right here, University of Michigan.
Shoelace.
Exactly. He already had a nickname that is a sellable item. Like, if I'm going to anybody that makes shoelaces, like, hey, come pay me, and I'm Shoelace. Here I am. Like, that, to me, that was just written in stone. That guy would have walked away with millions.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would got more money than Shoelace, Charles Woodson, and Mike Hart. I don't think anybody. Mike Hart was a lovable guy, and then when he went after Michigan State with the little brother comments, like that endeared him more to Michigan. He had the $1 million smile. I think Charles Woodson is an understatement.
Charles Woodson was listed in the chat.
Understatement when he was done, and then the last one, and Shoelace.
Yeah,
Shoelace.
Fab Five. How about that? All 5 of them. I mean, because that was a brand.
Yeah, especially Chris Webber, man. That would have.
Oh, just the black socks alone, they could have made money off of, and long shorts because they were the initiators of the long shorts into basketball.
And they were.
We're starting to see the retraction. We're starting to see the shorts get a little bit smaller.
I don't like that, man. Guys, especially in off season when guys are practicing or guys are shooting in the gym, like the shorts are so high up, you like. Man, in a second, you're going to be showing your junk, man. Like, look, just put some shorts on, man, and show me a workout. I don't need all that booty short stuff.
Who you got on your list, Braylon?
All right, so I start off with an Ohio State guy. I start with Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes.
I start with Ezekiel Elliott. Ohio State, 1, they are the number 4. They are the number 3 school in terms of generated revenue. In football, they're 3. But they're number 3 in generated revenue, only behind 2 other schools. Oregon is 1. Can't remember who's 2. But Ezekiel Elliott, Ohio State, they have money. They pay money. They were paying way before the NIL deal, so a lot of their players got in trouble. They travel well. I don't see anyone travel better than them as it relates to bowl games. They are always number 1. Maybe Texas, but Texas hasn't played in a big game in a very long time. $233,871,410 is what their school generated last year. 140 of that was football money. So you're talking about Ezekiel Elliott, running back. When you think of running backs, you think of Archie Griffin, 2 Heisman trophies. You think about Eddie George, Heisman trophy. You think about good running backs. J.K. Dobbins, most notably recently, towards ACL last year for the Baltimore Ravens. Yep. Ezekiel would have destroyed. He got the starting job at the end of his of his freshman year. Going into his sophomore year, over 1,900 yards, rushing, 18 touchdowns. They win a national championship. They win the national championship. They beat an unbeatable Alabama. He has 4 games in a row where he rushes for 200 yards. He would have went to that junior year and got paid. I think Miggy's up.
Yep, Miggy is about. They're about to do a pitching change, so you can keep going talking about this.
I just think with all that, winning that national championship, going into a junior year, you already have a national championship. We're talking about Ohio. We're talking about Ohio. Ezekiel Elliott would have got paid. Reggie Bush in L.A.
Oof.
Reggie Bush during his time in L.A., no professional teams were doing good in L.A. at that time. Reggie Bush made $500,000. That's what got him in trouble.
Well, even though when you do well in L.A., they don't give a damn about professional sport. USC is the professional sport.
He got paid $500,000 when he was at USC. We know about. That's why he had to get a Heisman Trophy back. That joker would have made 2 national championships, 2 chances.
Oh, my God.
They walked in.
Oh, my God. What is this? Fired Maz. I'm mad at you now, Maz. You are responsible for the Yankees. You are responsible for this BS. They automatically. What did they do there? Did they walk him? They intentionally walked. This is why baseball's dying. This is why baseball's going away, because these guys want to tuck their balls between their legs instead of actually playing the game. Let this man get history against you. Oh, is it because you're the Yankees? You're too good to get the 3,000th hit against you? That guy wearing his pinstripes in the crowd should be beaten down to death right now. What an awful display of sportsmanship by the New York Yankees. To walk Miguel Cabrera in that situation, that is unreal.
They pitched it to him the other 3 times.
And you got him out 3 times, so what you scared of?
Don't yell at me. I ain't the Yankee.
I'm yelling at everybody.
My head is Michigan.
I'm on my Bethune shit right now. I'm even swearing on the air.
That's what I'm talking about. Get hype.
What?
Just take it that way.
That is so dumb. I hope this bloop falls in. Fall. Yeah, there you go. Bases loaded.
See, exactly. That's what you get.
Clear the damn bases.
That's what I'm
go,
talking
Austin
about.
Meadows.
That's what I'm talking about.
Austin Meadows, make them eat it. Eat it, Yankees. You suck.
He was getting a haircut here yesterday, I think.
That was horrible. Lady James,
Liberty,
awesome.
Liberty.
Oh, how awful is that?
So then Reggie Bush, go right back. Reggie Bush and then Vince Young. I got Vince Young.
Let's take a break and go, because I got another guy I want to talk about. I don't care if first base was open. You pitched to the man. This is a game we're playing. they're professionals. They're paid money. But you know what? The ball don't lie, like Sheed used to say. Austin Meadows gets 2 RBIs because they're stupid. So go get them, Tigers. Up 3-0. Bottom of the 8th. Hopefully Miggy is able to get up again today. And I hate you, Yankees. We'll be right back.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward sports is here.
$2 mystery beer machine. Now that I have your attention, I can tell you about our friends over at the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck, Michigan, home of the football bowling hybrid game called Fulling. Chris and Noni Hutt are the hosts there. They are the creators of the game, so you know they got to be doing it right. You can host your corporate party or team bonding event, or you can just take the family there on a Saturday afternoon. For just $10, you can get unlimited open play. Or if you got a lot of friends, unlike me, you can get up to 10 people on a lane for just $120. They have over 100 beers, tons of TVs, so you can watch Miguel Cabrera strike out all weekend long and not get that 3,000 hit. And you can just get your phone on over at thefullingwarehouse.com.
Oh.
So let's go to Stick with the draft party update.
What is up with the Miguel Cabrera hate?
Yeah, he's not going to do it.
I mean, it ain't like he went to Michigan. Why are you hating on him? Jesus.
Come on, Alex. He's one of us.
My God.
Alex just wants to win his bet.
This is clickbait.
Man.
Look at Miggy.
Well, look
at Miggy talking to the crowd right now.
Well, I just said F the Yankees and Aaron Boone on Twitter. So
yeah,
you talking about pissing somebody off.
What a bunch of... Yeah. Either way, we're going to party, and we're going to party real hard because you know what? It's the Super Bowl for the Lions. That's been the joke about the draft for the Lions for the past every year of our existence. But you know what? We're going to do it up like it's the Super Bowl. Draft party going on at the Brass Rail. The live stream starts at 7:30, but you can get down there early, 6:30, 6 o'clock, order some pizza, hang out. We'll have some drinks. The whole damn crew is going to be there, and when you get all of these ragtag people involved in one event, it's going to be a fun time. So make sure you show out. It's going down a week from today at the Brass Rail, downtown Detroit. Our NFL Draft Party live on Woodward Sports. I like that beat, Sam. Sam bringing that trap music today. Look at this.
Trap.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards. We have Flannel Sam in the sound booth. We have Alex Mayer and... Miguel Cabrera was just up for his 3,000th hit. The Yankees has elected to walk him and put him on first base. And that kind of took us a little off track of the NIL because you had a couple more names to mention. Who was the last name?
I had some good ones.
Yeah.
So I came back to Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush in L.A. He was 2002, 2005. What he did in that snapshot, finished 5th twice in the Heisman. Should have won. Could have won twice. Won his junior year, which is the year he was drafted 2nd overall to the New Orleans Saints. Won 2 national championships, or they won a national championship. They won a Rose Bowl, and they should have won another national championship, but the receiver didn't catch the ball when he threw it back. You just look at what he was. He was college football. To this day, I've never seen anybody more electric, more exciting than whenever he touched the ball. I mean, he had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. He had 900 yards kicking and receiving punts. He had 1,400 yards rushing. He had 300 yards receiving. Like, he did everything.
He had the Bush push.
He was the joystick. He had the Bush push against Notre Dame. Yep. Matt Leinart pushed him in the end zone. I just think for all the star power that they had on that sideline, he would have made tons of money because so many people have rode through USC as it relates to huge donors, huge celebrity alums. He would have made tons of money. Hell, he made $500,000 while it was illegal. Lord knows how much he would have made
when it was legal.
Well, exactly, because he still got in trouble. He had to get a Heisman back. But I think Reggie Bush would have been a damn good one to get paid.
Yeah, another name that popped into my mind, and Johnny Manziel. He didn't do anything as a pro. But I'm talking, this dude played in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
He would have got paid. They're number 1 now in terms of football money generated. Texas A&M has bumped Texas. Texas is now 2. Texas A&M is number 1.
But let's not hide behind it. He was the great white hope, right? He was coming out, and anytime you got that kind of push behind you in Texas, you're going to make a ton of money. And Johnny Manziel kind of pissed away all of his talent, and, and Baker Mayfield is following down those same footsteps, both going to the Browns and looking like fools. But I think Manziel would have banked in college.
Baker Mayfield would have been another one, too. Yeah, Manziel would have made money because he did it a different type of way. Like, he backed it up on the field, but then also off the field, he was Johnny Money Sign, man. He was Johnny Dollar Sign. He did it. He was cool. Drake was one of his boys, came to one of his games. So, you just see that celebrity start to build with him. Yeah, it would have been lights out. And he won the Heisman early. He won the Heisman his sophomore year. So, that Heisman, that talk, that would have built kind of like what I said about Zeke. That'd be a damn good one.
You think Drake and Johnny Manziel still talk?
Maybe.
Hell no.
I think Drake is a loyal guy. Like, I think Drake, like, once he builds a friendship, like, I think it might take him a couple days to get back to Johnny's text. But I'm pretty sure he'd still be cool.
But he sees it.
What you got for us, Slam Sam?
I've got a name that you guys didn't mention that I think would have made
We're
bank.
not done yet, but...
All right.
No. Go ahead. I want you to tell me.
But is the single greatest college football player I've ever seen with my own two eyes Cam Newton.
Oh,
Cam Newton would have been a good one out of
Cam
Florida.
Newton would have been a great one.
Transferred to Auburn.
Yep.
Had national championship year. It was an amazing year, man. 3,800 yards passing, I want to say. 1,200 yards rushing. It was a masterful season. Struggled a little bit in that national championship game, but he himself had a hell of a year, and he's one of the best. He's right, one of the best college football players of all time.
Yeah, you can throw Vince Young in that mix too.
Oh, you gonna steal my thunder?
I am. Sorry.
You gonna steal my thunder?
Has he got that over there?
That was my number 3.
Oh, that was your number. You got 2 more after that too?
No, I only did Ezekiel Elliott,
okay.
Reggie Bush, and Vince Young. I had Vince Young / Ricky Williams, but Vince Young, for the very same reason I just told you, everything is bigger in Texas. They are the only team with their own network. Just think about that. Texas is the only team with their own college network. Earl Campbell won the Heisman Trophy in 1970, I don't know, 2, 3, somewhere around there. Earl Campbell, when the 20s first went to the big face, because they were the first bill to go big face, Earl Campbell was the first one to spend the $20 bill, and this was 30, 40 years after he won the Heisman Trophy. That's because the Mets down there in Texas, and they wanted a Longhorn to spend it first. What Vince Young did, his coming out party, his sophomore year against us in the Rose Bowl when they beat Michigan, it was insane. I'm talking about every time they got the third down, they gave him the ball. He did whatever the hell he wanted to do. That was his coming out party. Texas, all that oil money down there, them Jerry Jones running around.
Yep.
He was the number 1 player in the country coming out of high school. So it starts there. Now you're talking about Texas, and then him beating Michigan in the Rose Bowl. And then the team that was ruled the number 1 team in college football history was that 2005 USC team. And guess who beat them? Vince Young. After they sniped him in the Heisman, he came back to take his revenge. Vince Young
took
would
their
have been
souls in that game.
Oh, and you talking about Matt Stafford taking somebody's soul? That's what Vince Young did to Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. Vince Young would have been the highest paid NIL player in history, bar none, just because he was in Texas at the right time. They won that championship.
You know what's interesting to me about the NIL is the losers in this, right? Because we're always going to talk about the guys that make it. And, you look at all these kids that come into college, and there's going to be businesses that gamble on people like, I'm spending money.
Quinn Ewers, the quarterback from Ohio
Spencer
State.
Rattler. Rattler's another one.
I forgot. He still play football?
Somewhere.
South Carolina, I think.
Maybe. Who the hell knows? But that's another guy.
Right.
Last year, he's going to be the Heisman candidate next year.
He was number 1,
So you'll have people fork over money, and then these kids are going to come out and flop.
I'm not giving it back.
Hell no.
This is my cash.
No, you got to take advantage of it while you're hot. And if you fall off, that's fine. You keep that money. But there's going to be kind of a leveling out point at some point where people are like a little more scared to invest in these guys because you're betting on high school kids to be good.
Yeah.
And that's a tough bet. These are 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. Life comes at them. They got to deal with different things when they're at college. So you never know the variables that are involved.
Yeah, you'll see these NIL deals start to go to only certain schools because only certain schools are starting to live up to the hype year in, year out. So, it's fun now. Everybody's got an NIL deal. You see the guy with the mustache from St. Peter's. St. Peter's with the mustache. He got a what kind of deal did he get? He got a
Manscape or something.
He got some type of deal, but he got a deal. You saw what? Buffalo Wild Wings. There it was. It wasn't Wing Snob. That's why we didn't bring it up. But got one of those deals.
Like Wing Snob better.
But eventually, like you said, it'll level out, and you'll only see schools like Alabama where the consistency is there. Schools like Alabama, schools like and insert school that always wins here. Georgia,
right?
Southern Ohio State.
Tigers just won 3-0.
There
So
we
we got
go.
that going for us, which is nice. We also got this thing coming up next. It's called Ask Braylon. So if you got a question you want to ask Braylon Edwards, whether it be about NFL, whether it be about college football, whether it be about anything in life, like we say, just keep it clean, though, because we both got family watching here, so be nice. But
also, we track where you guys live at. So, I mean, I pull up at your house and knock on your door.
You don't want to see Flannel Sam sitting outside your window at 3 a.m. That's something you don't want to see. So we'll discuss that. Ask Braylon is coming up next right here. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is the Braylon Edwards you're going to be asking questions to in the chat.
And this is Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to stickergenius.com today.
See, I know when I was telling you to get into shape, time to get in the gym. I know when I was saying that earlier and you were looking outside and it was raining, it was snowing, it was cold. You were like, Braylon's lying to me. It's not time to get in the gym, but what about today? What about the Tigers 3-0 in this beautiful sunshine weather? That means it's time to get in the gym. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, $10 a month.
Only $10.
Hey, Sam, $10, man. That's all it takes. It's all it takes for you to go down to one of these Planet Fitness because there are over 2,000 worldwide. So there's one where you live. There's one down the street from here, right on Southfield Road. There's one right up the street, up Telegraph, up Woodward. There's one right there that's waiting for you to come in, waiting for you to pay $22.99. Get the black card white, ball out. That way you can get the hydro massage chairs that feel oh so good, unlimited tanning, and also unlimited guests being brought. That means you basically have 2 memberships. Get you and a friend in shape, man. Get you and a couple friends in shape. Home of the judgment-free zone. Home of the Planet Fitness Woodward Sports Network studio. It is beautiful. Get down to that purple and black. They're waiting for you. Your fitness is essential.
And after you get done looking all swole and getting right in the gym, make sure that hair's looking right, because that's the first thing people are going to notice when you walk up to them. Let's be honest. You got to look wicked awesome, especially come summertime. You want to be looking good while you're out on Belle Isle or while you're downtown, and that's where Lady Jane's comes into play. Precision haircuts. You get treated like a king, and all you got to do is walk in anytime. They take walk-ins, or you can schedule your appointment with some of their beautiful stylists that they have on deck at all times of the day. So if you're looking for a great haircut, plus a chance to win $100,000. Make sure you come to Lady Jane's and find out what that's all about. Welcome back to the bottom line on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Whoo, Braylon, man, this is a fun show. High energy. You got your championship belt still.
Bring it back, man. You know what I'm saying? I figured ask Braylon had to come back as the champ.
Yeah, let's do this. I like this because we get all types of questions, and yesterday I thought was a lot of fun. I'll start out with this. Dennis Preem, I believe his name is.
I gotta tell you now that the champ only has time for 3 questions.
Oh, I'm just here so I don't get fined? Is that what you're going to say next?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Besides family, of all the places you've lived, why come back and live in Detroit?
What does the champ think about that? No, I think a good reason for that also is I went to the University of Michigan. University of Michigan has great roots here, so I get a lot of opportunities, shake a lot of hands. I go a lot of these little network events, and you never know what could come of it. Be it cannabis is real big. A lot of guys are working in that commercial real estate, and the list goes on in terms of shaking and hands and not realizing, oh man, you know what, I remember this guy, and want to have conversations with him, take lunches and do things of that nature. So I think Michigan being here, it's a great place to raise family. I like the 4 seasons. I love all 4 seasons. I love wearing long coats in the winter. I like wearing shorts and tank tops in the summertime. So I think you get all that here. It's great schooling for kids. It's a great place to raise a family.
Love it.
Plus, I'm born and raised here, man.
You ever see yourself coaching at any level?
Oh, hell no.
No?
I just don't have the patience. Is
it because you get frustrated, like Jordan? Because Jordan.
For real.
Yeah.
I get frustrated. I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to tell you. And also these kids nowadays, These kids are bad. Man, they kids, they think they know it all. They think they know all the routes. They think they know all the concepts. They think they know. They think you're some old bum that doesn't know what you're talking about. I just don't want to hit somebody's kid. I don't want to knock somebody's head out.
But one thing I do find whenever you're around uber talented people, whether it be anything in life, when things come naturally to them, it frustrates them to try to coach somebody.
Explain that.
Yeah. Like, hey, no, just go up and catch the ball. Well, wait, how did you do that? Well, I just went up and I caught the ball. Like,
it's tough. It takes patience, and I'm fresh out of that.
I'm fresh out of that. I'm assuming Nader is your friend. Braylon, who is your real best friend? Nader, Jeff, or Haran?
Nader, you such an idiot. My real best friends are the guys that watch all the time. That's Haroon, that's Nader, that's Jeff, that's Max, DJ Tom T. But Nader, you know there's a special place in my heart for you, buddy.
Let's see. All 4 seasons, and you got 2 furnaces. You know about that joke that all started with Sean Belizean, and if you have 2 furnaces or 2 air conditioners, you're bougie as hell in your house?
No, I don't.
That means you have a big house. What's up, Alex Mayer? You got a question?
I mean,
Mr. Braylon,
what's going on,
big fan here. First-time caller, long-time listener.
Okay.
During your film breakdown of Sir Drake London, you talked a lot about his extreme talent in high-pointing the football. I was just curious, what is the art behind that high pointing the football? Is there a certain place in the trajectory of the ball that you look for? Like, what's the secret?
So when you're catching a deep ball, pretty much, if it's a fade, then that pass is going to be thrown at around somewhere no further than 20 yards. If it's a deep ball, if it's a deep go ball, it's going to be right around 40 yards. That 40 to 45 yards is where you're going to catch that mark. So as you start to run the route, as you start to get open and get down that sideline, your clock is going off in your head in terms of seeing the yards, knowing how far down the field you are, and then knowing the leverage of where the DB is. So you're tracking the ball, you're tracking it, and you just get a typical sense the more and more that you do it, knowing where that point is. That, I usually get up in the air around 38. I usually get up in the air around 40. I usually get up in the air around 35 and then come down. So I think just, doing that over and over and over and over and over again in practice, working with your quarterbacks, you start developing it. Then you know. And then you start timing it. You're like, hey, I know it typically is right now. You just get up, want to high point that ball because it gives you the best opportunity, not only for a catch, for a potential big play after the catch, a touchdown, and also for pass interference. Like when you get high point the ball, when you get up, typically you're a guy that's going to draw a lot of pass interferences. Calvin Johnson did a really good job of that, going up in traffic. I mean, you saw the tremendous play in the Thanksgiving game where was it the Bengals or was it the Cowboys?
Triple coverage.
Yeah, he was he caught a pass over 30 people. But his arms, not only because he's 6'5" and the tallest, they were the highest because he knew how to high point that ball and he got up in the air the faster. So. Yeah.
All right, one of our favorites in the chat, Jenna Newman. Braylon, what life lesson, whether learned on or off the field, would you say that you've carried with you throughout your life? And I feel like, actually, I'm not going to get ahead of you, but I feel like your dad has something to do with this probably.
Just parents in general, man. Listen to your parents. I was blessed to have 4 parents, and they've taught me a lot. They've taught me a lot of good things. They've instilled a lot of good values into me. Shout out to my mom. I know she's watching right now. Shout out to CP, my stepdad. But, you don't listen to them all the time. And you got to learn those lessons the hard way a lot of times. And trust me, I've had my fair share of learning it the hard way. Also, I would say treat people good. Treat people kind. There's no reason to be an asshole to anyone. There's no reason to be mean. There's no reason. Just be nice to people because, it's not be nice because people will be nice to you. Be nice because you should be nice. It's so easy to be nice. You have to go out of your way to be mean, and it goes a long way. When people talk about you behind your back and they run into somebody and say, oh yeah, you work with that guy Stick. Yeah, I know Stick, he's a dick. You know what I'm saying? You don't want people to say that about you, which no one ever said about Stick. I'm just saying he's a sweetheart. But that's what you want. When people talk about Stick behind his back, it's like he's a hard worker, he's a great guy. You want that to be out there. You don't want people to have other things to say.
Yeah, one of the philosophies that I live by for that is you want to be the person that when somebody talks trash about you behind your back, nobody believes it.
Oh, I like that.
I love that type of statement as well. Cornerbacks in the league. David Mentier asking you this, or I'm sorry if I'm messing up your guys' last names too. Was there a cornerback in the league that was just a thorn in your side that you hated to go up against?
Yeah, he has a gold jacket. His name is Champ Bailey.
Ooh.
Champ Bailey's the best DB I've seen.
He was short too, wasn't he?
Deceptive size because he has a small head. He's not very muscular. Champ was 6'1".
Okay.
Champ 6'1", just deceptive. He just was so good. Champ's the best DB. I went against Woodson. I went against his prime. I love Seawood. I went against Revis, played with Revis, went against Crow, went against Marcus. You name these guys. Richard Sherman, played against him and played on the same team as him. Champ was just special. Not only did he study all the film, he knew everything. He knew where everybody was supposed to line up, whether it's Elvis Dumerville, whether it's DeMarcus Ware, whatever teammate. He knew how to get those guys lined up. He knew his job. He knew what you were going to do before you did it. He knew your quarterback was trash. Like, he just knew everything about you. He could tackle. He was physical. He was fast. Like, he was the one he was the first one I scored on. I got excited. Like, I've scored on Reeves. I've scored on Sherman. I've scored on some guys. When I scored on Champ, it was like a lifetime achievement had come true.
That's awesome.
I was like, finally, I got you, you sucker. So, Champ Bailey.
I love this question. This will be the last question. Kenneth Sawyer, Braylon, if you were playing in college, and I'm gonna add to this, you can't pick Michigan. What school would you want to go to right now? You can't pick Michigan.
Can't pick Michigan.
Yep. I'm taking that away from you.
Okay, okay. If I was in college right now, where I would go? Can I pick 3 or just 1 or 2? 1?
No. If you were getting recruited right now, who would you be excited? Who would be your top?
USC.
Ooh, why USC? Their
Lincoln
program sucks right now. Oh, because
they are about to turn it out.
Okay, fair.
Like, I'm telling you, Lincoln Riley, what he's about to do with out there with Caleb Williams at USC, mark my words, they're going undefeated this year. This is just throwing that out there now.
Damn. All right.
So, USC, Georgia, because I grew up in Atlanta a little bit. That's why I'm a Braves fan. So probably USC and Georgia.
You wouldn't go LSU with the amount of wide receivers they're pumping out right now? I mean, think about it.
I watched Brian Kelly leave when they were 11-2. I don't trust him as a head coach.
Okay.
I watched him in the 11-2 season. He left before the bowl game. I can't rock with that. Like, if I was watching that, I can't rock with that.
You want to be part of his family?
Nah, I'm cool. Him and his fake accent. No disrespect. He's a great coach. But if I'm going to go to a school, I got to pay that attention. I got to see that, you know what? The kids don't necessarily mean everything to him. I may not necessarily mean everything to him. He may have his foot, one hand into the coaching pool and one hand out. I need all hands on deck, baby.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. I love this segment. Ask Braylon. I'm doing it at the end of every show. We'll do it again tomorrow. Braylon's going to break down some more college wide receivers tomorrow.
I don't like that hate over there, man. I feel that energy.
Adam's a hater. That's fine.
It's all good, man. It's wearing off on Alex, man.
He wakes up hating.
Yeah, he hates. Yeah,
he haters ball with Adam.
It's like, why do I have this beard?
Make sure you're listening to Adam tomorrow morning, 8 to 10, right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Bets coming up at 4:30. Make sure you go subscribe to them on YouTube. And we will see you tomorrow. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. I am out of here for Flannel Sam, for Alex, and of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the champ,
the beat the man. You gotta beat the man. Woo!
We out, baby.
I see you, big fella. How'd I run home?
Oh, so close. So close.